So that means we can get into the meat. An hour in, we can
Right
talk
at
about the
the
main
hour
stuff.
mark.
I don't care. This is
We're
gonna be
no,
a
this is
2 hour
gonna be a
episode.
long one.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. We can just go.
All right. So how do you want to start this? I guess we should start with like you
Yeah,
because
why don't we
if we
go
start
arc by
with
arc here?
yeah, because originally when I was on the huge binge at the first time, I watched all the way up through um I watched all the way up through Skypia and then I
Mhm.
stopped. And that was my first break. And then after that I watched like all of Water 7 and Ennie's Lobby. And then I stopped again. That was where I stopped again because
Okay.
I originally
For
told myself I was going to go arc by arc because arcs are long in One Piece, so they could be
yeah,
considered like multiple seasons if you consider episode count.
true.
Um, and so I told myself I'll just go an arc, take a break, get some stuff off my watch list, go back. But you find yourself falling in a hole at some point. Everyone has their own different point,
Yeah.
but you fall in a hole at some point. And I fell in a hole. I finished Water 7, then I said, okay, I'll take a break. I picked it back up at Thriller Bark.
Hmm.
And that's where I didn't stop. So I'll let you take it from there.
Oh, wait, before we get to that, there is an arc between Thriller Bark and Water 7, and I don't know if it's filler.
Sabaody?
No,
Or Sabaody?
it's called Lovely Land. I'm pretty sure it's filler. But if you didn't watch it, then I know it's filler.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay,
So
yeah,
yeah,
it's filler. Because it wasn't that good to begin with. Okay, yeah. So my journey through One Piece started last summer, and I watched all the way up to Skypiea, including Skypiea, and I stopped after Skypiea.
okay. You and I literally did the same shit.
Not exactly.
Well, yeah,
Um,
not exactly,
yeah.
but
And at that point in One Piece, there was really only one like amazing moment, and that was Arlong Park. Also, we're gonna get into spoilers here, so you know.
oh yeah. This is just gonna be us completely diving in. So
Yeah.
just know that this is going to be very heavy in spoilers and
Um,
exposition, all the way up to the time skip
exactly. Well, and right after the time
and the
skip.
first arc
Yeah.
of the time skip.
And at that point in the show, it was like a solid 8 for me. Like
Which that's already great.
yeah. It was like it was really good. It was like these arcs they're solid. They have some really good moments in them. But it hasn't really blown me away yet, except for that one scene with
Already at an 8, and
Nami
you're like,
in
it's just not
Arlong.
enough yet.
Well, no, that's not. I'm just it's still an 8's a great rating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Um, yeah, but it hasn't really like totally shocked me to my core, I
Broken
guess.
the barrier.
Yeah. And then the Davy back fight hits, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, no, forget about that.
Yeah.
I want to say that was considered filler, but it's not.
It's not filler.
It's not filler. Why
I'm
it's
like
not filler, I
everything
don't
about
know.
that arc. I think it's only like 13 episodes.
It is. It's like 12, 13, 14 episodes, and
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, everything about that arc is so Deus Ex Machina. Everything is so conveniently placed. Like everything happens, so it's all
Just-
built up to
yeah.
this perfect last moment. It's just so it's too.
Let me just stop you right there and say, forget that existed.
Yeah,
Move
I'm
on.
just like everything about that arc is just like, can we just
I told
move
you
on?
that. I said before you jump back in because I was hyping up and I was saying, dude, you got to get back on One Piece. Just know that the first arc you jump back in on, you're going to hate.
Yeah.
Because I did too.
And then
Everyone else did.
And then after that, we get to that island with Aokiji where he shows up. And I'm like,
Yes.
ooh, what's going on here? And
And
honestly,
right off the bat, it's a tone shift.
yeah. And I don't know, it's kind of hinted at later, but not exactly. This is just kind of me making speculation, but right when Aokiji showed up, I'm like, I don't know why, but I kind of see him joining the crew. I know it's completely far-fetched to think that, but that's just what I was thinking at the moment that I watched that. So
Mhm.
everything that happens there, and then we get into Water 7. And holy fucking shit.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes,
and just for
sir.
future reference, when I say Water 7, that includes Ennie's Lobby.
Yeah, it's a weird thing whether you consider it two arcs or one. I
Yeah.
do because it is two different focuses.
Well, the reason
But
I
Water
say
7 as a whole is like a saga
yeah,
almost.
the reason I say Ennie's lobby is encapsulated by Water 7 is because they go back to Water 7 at the end.
Yeah, that's true. They do.
So yeah, first of all, like the design of the city is just like, whoa, this is amazing.
It is really cool. It is
like,
really cool.
This is so cool.
Because
Like,
it's a world filled with water, and they make, instead of having just a normal island,
Yeah.
they have a man-made island built like in the water.
and the fact that the shipyard is like top level and not like on the ocean, it's just like, whoa.
Yeah, that is really cool.
It's like you have to go all the way up there to get to the ships. Like, how the fuck do they get to the ships down?
Well, you learn.
Yeah, no, they have those giant cranes and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then they kind of trickle in this Frankie family stuff, and it's all very basic at that point when they're going to get the Mary fixed. And then the fight with Usopp and Luffy, and you're just like,
dude.
oh, this is like I'm so conflicted right now.
For the first half of Water 7, like the first before Ennie's lobby, all the regular just Water 7 stuff, that was all Usopp's arc, in my opinion. Like there was a lot of other stuff. I mean, there was the introduction of Frankie as a character. There was all the Robin stuff. But in my opinion, Usopp's focus was the best. Like that was the best stuff.
It was so well done.
So
you
good.
like you really felt his intense.
I was so hurt. I was stop fighting.
It killed me, dude. Like you really felt his passion for the Mary. Like how deeply he felt about that ship.
And everyone just got mad about it because I mean it was this big discourse in the crew.
Yeah. And like you knew Usopp was completely being emotional and irrational, but you're still like, fuck. Like I understand him at the same time. Like you do, like no, I understand why he doesn't want to part with the Mary. Like that's from his island. That's his ship. Like there's so much connection there with the Mary. And then, fuck, dude, that moment with Usopp and Frankie when they're under the bridge, and Frankie is describing the spirit of the ship. I think it's called a Klabouter Mom or something like that.
Yeah, Klabouterman or something like that.
Yeah. And you realize that. And then Usopp realizes that, and he just starts crying, and he knows that the ship has like a personality and actually cares. Like that got me, dude.
Yeah,
like,
that was a lot to handle.
Like,
that was originally hinted at Skypiea.
They never said anything.
No,
about
you never knew anything. Like, you didn't know what that was, but like that was hinted.
At that point, like before that, I was okay. Like I wasn't emotionally distraught about the Mary being replaced, but at that point, I was like, "Fuck no, we got to keep the Mary. No, we can't go. We can't go." And then everything with Robin and the overarching plot with Pluton and the weapon, it's just like what? It's like the first arc where we really see where the giant overarching plot is coming into play.
Yeah. Like an even bigger scale than what One Piece scale
it's
was.
like they hint at it in Alabasta, but you don't really they don't really like hit you hard with it until now. And
they hint at it the second that Robin is introduced because she explains what she's living for.
But they finally actually explain some of it here, and you're like, whoa, like this show has like a way bigger plot than I thought it did.
Yeah, there's actually enough to get away with 900 episodes.
Yeah, just like, oh, I can understand why there are so many episodes now.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a show or a story. This is an epic.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah,
man.
this is like a journey. Like, in more ways than one. So yeah, and we go along with when they get on the fucking sea train, the Rocket Man, and they're going to Ennie's lobby to save Robin.
Yes.
Wait.
Before you get to that, though, what did you think of Frankie's introduction?
I thought it was really well done. I never thought he would join the crew, though.
I didn't like him at first. Like, I already was spoiled that he was going to join the crew, whatever. But I didn't like him at first because I was like, man, this guy joins the crew. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's definitely made to look like a piece of shit, right?
Oh my god, he's made to look like the biggest piece of shit. But then you find out he's, doing it all as an act.
Yeah, and then
he has to hide his identity.
You get his backstory with Tom and Ice Pops.
It was so good.
Oh yeah.
And I love Iceberg as a character too. He's so good.
Yeah, Iceberg's great, and the whole thing with framing the Straw Hats with
and then you learn about
Iceberg.
Cypher Pull 9.
Yeah, CP9. That was like In
That was
you had
like there
that
was so
little
many twists
yeah, you had that little
in Water
pass thing
7.
when Robin disappears, where that guy just whispers CP9. You're just like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, you get there's so many twists in Water 7 and so many
There's so
realizations
many
like
info dumps too.
yeah, like the amount of layering there is because there's Frankie and his secret identity, there's CP9 and like some of the members of the original like crew of shipwrights. Oh, they're secretly villains and
Hmm.
like the amount of layering is so and then it all just explodes and just climaxes at Ennie's lobby and then you just get
Yeah, just
huge just a
complete
battle.
chaos.
Oh,
And
dude.
like it took a while, but it didn't at any point feel like it was dragging.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
agree with that.
Like it was entertaining to the last part of it. And second gear.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
That's
god.
the big moment.
Holy
The
shit.
moment. That is the moment.
Like how the fuck did he think of that? Like
See, that's
Luffy's
the
an
thing.
idiot.
Like I, well, I mean, the move itself is very stupid, but like that's one thing I was kind of confused at first because there's not really a scene that shows him like discovering it, which I was a
Hmm.
little annoyed about. Um, but he just kind of goes, "There's something I want to try," and then he does it, and then once he uses it,
Yeah.
and then he goes and fights. He fights the final
The door door.
boss.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Lucci.
yeah, once he gets there, he's like, this will like kill you, right? Like you're stupid. And
Yeah.
he's like, whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't give a
So
fuck
like
about
he
that.
knows it's dumb.
Yeah, it's just like I'm fine with with a few of those type of reveals where something just happens, but
Yeah, to me it still really felt out of nowhere, like not in the best way.
like
I really wish there would have been like some realization.
you can imagine there being that scene where he tries
Yeah,
that
you
out.
can definitely, excuse me, you can definitely see it happening.
Yeah.
But like
Same thing with third gear.
usually
Yeah.
with like those types of arcs where you already encounter the villain before you're strong enough to fight them and then they beat
Hmm.
your ass, there's usually like an obligatory training arc or there's like some realization of a power up. But because there wasn't, it was just kind of like
Yeah.
oh, I can fight you now because I learned this move on the way here. I don't know, I
Well,
didn't love it. I didn't love the way it like eventually happened, but I do love second gear.
well, I think you get hints at that sort of realization from Luffy cuz once they enter the Grand Line, like he's had some good fights, but he hasn't really been tested yet.
Mm-hmm.
And a crocodile is easily his hardest fight to that point, and he almost dies. Same thing with Eneru. Like he really had to struggle through those fights, and he kind of
Yeah, and he had to be creative with how
yeah, and they
he
kind
wasn't
of
really
hint
using
at
his own ability
he
for the
can't
most
just
part.
keep brute forcing this. He has to come
Hmm.
up with something new. So I was okay with the reveal. I think it was well done.
Yeah.
Um,
And even after all the complaining I just did, like the moment where he just does the stance and then he just sets it up and then it happens, I'm like, holy shit.
yeah, it was so sick.
Even after I'm like, ah man, I didn't like how they set it up. I didn't like that it was out of nowhere. And then it's like, but then you watch it happen.
Hmm.
And it was some of the best stuff, man. It was so good.
Yeah, and then when they're standing on the tower with Cypher Pole on the other side and Robin, and
Yes.
then Robin has that moment where she says she wants to live. Like, oh jeez, and you get
It
Robin's
hits
backstory. Oh,
really fucked up. It's really messed up.
oh my God,
It's
her
really
life
sad.
is fucked.
Yeah, and that's why you
Yeah,
find out why she's so pessimistic and so like,
yeah.
why
So
she's
afraid to
so
make a
why
connection.
she's so morbid.
Yeah.
But she's over that now because there's some crazy people.
Exactly. And yo, can I give just a quick shout out to Granny Kokoro? Like, fucking MVP.
Yeah, yeah.
with
I don't know.
fuck
She
with the
had some.
fucking Rocket Man.
Yeah, but she's got some weird moments too.
Yeah,
Like the
but
fact that she's like a mermaid.
and she's a
That
raging
was just
alcoholic.
that was gross. When she was like she turned into a mermaid and
I thought she was fucking hilarious.
no, yeah, she's a good character. It's
Yeah.
just like I can't get that image out of my head.
Yeah, so then they get in to the Tower of Law, And at first, I thought the whole dynamic with the keys was kind of just too easy. But then you kind of have to justify it by saying, wow, they really don't think the Straw Hats are anything serious. They're actually giving
Oh
them a
yeah.
chance because they're
Well,
that arrogant.
well, yeah. Think about it this way. I mean, they already encountered them and they beat their ass with
Yeah.
no issue at all. So they didn't think they were much. They just thought, oh, they just beat up all these useless, no rank Marines. So we'll just let them
Yeah.
play this little game.
So yeah, I thought at first that was kind of like meh on the justification for the fights and the keys there, but I get it. That's fine. It isn't so far fetched that it doesn't work. And then you get all the individual fights with all the different power reveals. It's just so in fucking Chopper going fucking crazy with
Okay, there's something I have to say about that. Well, first let me say this though. I like how every single character had a power up of some sort.
Yeah.
Well, except for Nami, really, but whatever.
Well, I mean,
but
she did pretty well.
yeah, but she never really has a power up. It's whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
like Sanji's
Diablo.
Diablo Jambo, yeah, and then Zoro's like
9 sword style, yeah.
the 9 sword.
I don't know how
really cool.
I still don't know how the hell he did that.
There might be an explanation for it, but for the most part, it was kind of out of nowhere. And then
Yeah, that's like that. That's just that one thing where I'm like, hold up, like
yeah, and then,
you gotta explain that.
I loved how you got to see Frankie fight for the first time.
Yeah.
Well, not for the first time because he fights Luffy.
Fights with them.
But yeah, he's fighting like he's showing a lot of his other moves and how he like runs on Cola, and it's just really cool. I love Frankie.
And the part where he's with Chopper and he's telling Chopper to throw him some soda, and Chopper keeps throwing him this different drinks. And he keeps
his
changing
personality changes, dude. That's one thing I love about Frankie is that literally just depending on what he's like fueled on, his personality changes entirely. It's so funny.
It's so hilarious.
That is a formula for infinite possibilities for being fucking hilarious. And there's more of it, which you've already seen. There's more of it just like that. It's so funny, but the Chopper stuff when he like eats that third rumble ball or whatever and he like goes insane, I'm not even kidding you, that is like the single like most frightening moment in the entire series for me. Like that is fucking scary, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like there's a specific moment the first time you see him in that like giant mode and it's just creepy, dude. There's like fire behind him and he's just
he looks like a demon.
It's so scary, but I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, and I finally understand what the fuck your Steam profile picture is now.
Oh,
Sniper King.
I've had that forever. Soge King. I've had that forever.
I love that. I think it's so good.
That's another thing about Usopp is like he still wants to tag along and help even if he doesn't want to admit it.
He overcame his anxiety by changing his personality, and I think that's just so interesting. That's so like an innovative way to get him into the plot. And then everything where he with the giants at the front gate where he tells them about Dory and Broggy and how they're still alive and he converts them onto their side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was great. And I just love the moment where Luffy tells him to shoot the flag down and you're like, "Yes, sir."
Dude, yes.
Yeah. And Luffy doesn't even know that's Usopp.
No, he doesn't learn until the end. He's like, "Wait, when did Usopp get here?"
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. And then there's the moment, the big moment at the end when Luffy goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna third gear," and then he just like literally passes out. And then Usopp takes off the mask and he's like, "Hey, you gotta." He's like yelling at him. He's like, "You gotta hurry up and get up and fight." He's like, "What are you doing here?"
And then he finally does the jet Gatling. Oh my god. Yeah, I thought the moment on where the pink-haired guy, I forget his name. Oh, Spondum, that's his name. Where Spondum and Robin are on the bridge. I thought that was a little drawn out. Maybe it was only like 1 or 2 episodes of that.
Yeah, but it really was just them running across the bridge.
Yeah, but I really liked the Sniper King savior there and how Zoro and Sanji were kind of guiding him towards that.
And Frankie. Because Frankie did a lot of the...
Frankie was actually there, and he got to Robin.
Yeah, he got to Robin first.
Yeah, but then the fight between Lucci and Luffy, and he does the jet Gatling at the end, which he hadn't done before. He didn't do that
Well, I mean,
second gear Gatling yet.
yeah, no, he was just trying out a lot of his new a lot of
Yeah,
his new moves.
and that was basically like last resort. Like if this doesn't work, then it's over.
Yeah. So
Um,
that's like,
it's just, fu-
what were you gonna say?
and then oh yeah, sir, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so like that's where you learn about like second gear, third gear, whatever, and
Hmm.
then that's pretty used a lot from that point on,
Yes,
all
it
the way
is
to
a lot.
time skip. Um,
It becomes a mainstay.
yeah. So is there anything else you want to say about Andy's Lobby or Thriller Bark?
Well, yes, the fucking Mary.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, 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 yeah,
when
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah, yeah.
shows up, and I'm like, yeah, it's cheering. And
It somehow
it's
swam its
so
way all the way to
perfect.
them.
And then, oh my god, dude, when it went down,
That was a lot to take in.
that I don't
You were a
think
crying
there
man.
was another there. I can only think of one other moment in my whole life where I cried that much at a particular type
You
of
were a
show or
sobbing
movie.
man.
That would kill me. Like I
Yeah,
couldn't like
it's
I can only think of one other time when I watched a movie called Marley and Me. It was about a dog that
yeah.
died.
I remember that.
Yeah, that killed me too. But that was ages ago. I was like a kid when when I watched that. I couldn't control myself, dude. Like I was dead.
It was a
I
lot.
needed like 10 minutes to recover after that episode.
It was a punch in the gut.
Yeah, like fuck. Like I
That was something interesting about that scene too, is the
Jesus.
art style and animation kind of changed for a moment, just to like signify the like importance of that scene. Um, I don't know if it was that noticeable for you, but I thought that was going to be like the definitive change of art style, because One Piece changes art style like multiple
Mhm.
times throughout the series. And I thought that was going to be like the switch where it was like, all right, well, new art style, and we'll start from
Yeah.
this scene on. But then they didn't, and they went back, and I was like, so maybe not from this point on, but this,
I
but
would
this
say
scene in particular.
I when Water 7 started, it kind of the animation kind of hit its stride, and it kind of stayed consistent until time skip, and then I think time skip, or at least the one arc we watched after time skip, it went up a level.
Oh yeah, it's gone up insanely.
Yeah. It like
Since that.
the Fishman Island arc is noticeably better
Yeah,
looking.
we'll get there.
Yeah, but we'll get there.
But yeah, post Water Seven,
Yeah,
which
but then they get back to Water 7, and then everything with Garp and their bounties going up, and everyone getting a bounty, which is awesome. And Chopper's bounty.
Chopper's like 50 berries or whatever.
And then the Sanji's picture. Oh my god.
Oh, and then after that, you find out that there's a guy that looks like Sanji.
Yeah, dude, I cracked up so much
I
when he
was
showed
laughing
up.
so hard.
I couldn't believe that the author actually did that. It was
And
like,
I like that Usopp's bounty is actually Soga King's bounty.
yeah, that's not
That's
actually
so
Usopp.
funny. But yeah, then
Um,
there's the Frankie joining.
yeah,
to
and then
steal his paintings.
building the ship, the Sunny,
Yes, the new
which is
ship.
fucking amazing. Like,
The Sunny is great.
wow.
The fact that it can just like fly.
Yeah. Just coup de bird, boom.
Yeah.
It just
Um,
fucking runs off cola because why
Also,
not?
that's where like you first see Garp really do stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause he shows up
and
he's
it's
like,
actually finally explained what the fuck happened at Logtown with Luffy's dad.
yeah. There's so much stuff in Water 7, man. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You finally find out who Luffy's real
You
dad
find out
is.
who Luffy is.
Yeah. Like fuck.
There's a ton.
So much info
I keep
dump.
forgetting. Yeah, I keep like remembering slowly. Like what?
And
the,
Kobe
there's
comes
so
back and he
much.
looks completely different.
Yeah, I forgot that's when that happened too.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've always liked Kobe's character, but like,
Yeah, I knew he was gonna come
Yeah.
back eventually. I didn't think
Yeah.
he'd look so different though.
yeah, he comes back. Well, Garp literally worked those boys into like
Yeah.
Marines so
Ground him
fast.
into the dirt.
And there's not really much explained on how much time passes from like arc to arc and stuff, but it doesn't feel like it's been that long, and the dude's already like 4 feet taller. And
Yeah. I was like, hold on. Like I know Luffy starts his journey at 17, and I know he's not 18 yet. So Hasn't been even a year.
And dude's just like way bigger.
Just like, okay, I'll let it go.
And Helmeppo's like blind now or something.
We'll just say he went through puberty in those months.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I think he's just wearing those like stupid sunglasses or Helmeppo.
Yeah. And then at the end when Usopp finally like
he finally apologizes.
Oh, dude, that was so good. That was so good.
Yeah, I was hoping for a little more discussion there, but I'm okay with it.
They had to leave, man.
Yeah.
They had to go. Garp was being insane like he always is.
Okay, and that's Water 7, and
finally,
I'll say it right now, it's the best arc that I've seen so far.
Okay.
Like, I know there are some amazing arcs that we're about to discuss, but I think that's the best one.
Okay, so now Thriller Bark, what'd you think?
Thriller Bark, I didn't really think much of it as it started, but then you get the Laboon reveal.
Yeah.
And like, holy shit, the 300 episodes in the making.
You want to talk about, okay, well, without like jumping to it, Thriller Bark's really not all that much. Like, it's a weird like Halloween themed arc for the most part, and I don't really like the villains. I don't really like some of the fights are cool, but like it's mostly just kind of funny for the most part. Like, it is funny. Like, I'd say Usopp actually has like the best fight.
Yeah, with everything with Nami trying to run away from that fucking lion-headed guy.
Yeah, and she keeps like getting knocked out and like getting put in wedding dresses. Like, it was all just kind of funny.
And the zombie that wants to marry the guy that wants to marry Nami, and she goes crazy after him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brooke, super now that you actually get the Laboon reveal, it's just so cool. Like,
I love
it makes him
Brooke has my favorite
such an
backstory.
interesting character.
Brooke has my favorite backstory because it's, in my opinion, just the saddest.
Yeah, it's really sad.
And it's also like, just, dude, the reveal with Laboon actually like,
dude, I screamed.
My jaw dropped to the fucking floor.
I fucking screamed.
Dude, I was like, oh my god.
Like, my neighbors were probably like, what the fuck just happened?
I was like, oh my god, dude, no way. They're connected, like, cause
like
you don't think all the way back. You know, they're like, oh yeah, the crew that left him, they're probably all dead. They all escaped the guy literally says they escaped the Grand Line, like they left, but they didn't.
Yeah,
they died.
Like right at that moment when I think it was Frankie and Robin who were asking him.
They didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, they didn't know, but then Brooke says Laboon, and I'm like, where have I heard that before? And then he says, you wouldn't expect someone to keep a promise to a whale or something like that. And then that's when I realized, and I'm like, oh, I lost it.
Like, I still, as much as Thriller Bark for me is a pretty underwhelming arc, like that, the end of it, like everything that happens at the end, and there's other stuff.
Yeah, dude, honestly, all right. Before Kuma shows up, I'm like, okay, it's a good arc, but it's not like anything amazing other than the Laboon stuff, which is significant, but it wasn't enough to make the arc, you know. Yeah. But when Kuma shows up, that made the arc.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Thriller Bark for me, for the most part, really isn't great. Like, it's just all right. Like, Brooke, in my opinion, like it was just an arc to serve
Nightmare
as
Luffy
an introduction.
is fucking awesome.
It was just an arc to serve as an introduction for Brooke. Like, that's all it was, and he carried that arc for me.
Yeah.
Like, there was really nothing else interesting, and it was just him being introduced into the world.
Well, I thought Zoro getting a replacement sword. His fight was a samurai.
Okay, that fight was
sick.
Badass. That was
badass.
Badass.
Where he's burning in blue flame at the end, and he's like,
yeah,
this sword will be happy with you, and he drops him.
Yeah.
Like, that was really sick.
Yes.
So he's got Shusui, Kentetsu, I think is the cursed one.
I don't remember the other two. Well, actually, I remember the one,
the dead one that he planted in the graveyard was Yubashiri.
Yeah, and then Wado Ichimonji is what's her name's sword?
Yeah, the one where he got from his dead friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Wado Ichimonji. I think the cursed one is called Kentetsu.
Does he still have the cursed one?
Yeah, he still has the cursed one.
Okay.
The cursed one is called Kentetsu or something similar to that, and then Zishui, or the English name Cool Autumn Wind or something like that.
Interesting. Interesting English name.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't before Kuma shows up. that's where it really gets interesting, and you're like, fuck, they just defeated a warlord, and another warlord shows up. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, that was something that I thought too. I'm like, two warlords? I guess I'm not surprised that the scales are getting increased, but like, two?
Yeah,
And Moria didn't really seem like a warlord. That's why I didn't really love like a lot of the main conflict in Thriller Bark is because I didn't like Gecko Moria's character at all. Thought he was really dumb. But
I wouldn't say it was
like then Kuma
terrible,
shows
but
up and he's like,
yeah.
"Yeah, I'm here to show y'all like just how strong we motherfuckers are." And he sends Perona. He just fucking sends her, just gone. You
Yeah.
don't know where they
So,
go.
boom.
You don't know whether they
You don't
died or
even know
not.
if you don't even know if what he did was actually sending her. She just
My instant
disappeared.
assumption was that she died.
Yeah,
My instant assumption was that she died.
I thought she was teleported.
No, I instantly
Yeah.
thought that he just fucking removed her existence. Just gone. See ya. Which
I think
was
that
like,
would be
damn.
a little too easy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I thought Perona was like the only interesting character in this arc besides Brooke, and then she just got
Yeah.
sent away like that.
And then dude, the Ursa shock, and where all the rubble is spread everywhere, and that giant bomb goes off,
Yeah.
and then you think everyone's down, and then Zoro gets up. I loved that moment where you see
Oh,
you see
dude.
his legs, and then he cuts him. That was sick.
Yeah.
But then he realizes he can't beat him, and he has that little conflict with Sanji.
That was so good for me, and that's
Yeah.
why like that moment right there, like them arguing over who will literally die for their captain,
Yeah.
was why those are my two favorite One Piece characters, like tied. Zoro and Sanji have always been like my favorite top two.
Really.
And yeah, that like I equally, as of right now, I cannot pick one of the two. They are both my
Okay.
favorites. And originally it was Zoro, but Sanji, gets introduced, and then he has moments, and like it's always just like a battle for me to like pick one. But I'm not gonna pick one, at least not now.
Sure.
But like them literally both fighting, both throwing away their like, their all their ambitions, and they're like, no, I'll die for my captain. I'm like, bro, you come on,
Yeah.
stop, please stop fighting, stop it. Because I mean, originally
I wanted Sanji to shut the fuck up because he was kind of stealing his Zoro's thunder.
it's not about stealing thunder though. They're both like fighting over who should
Yeah, but, like,
die. They're
When
fighting
you
over who
when you
should
put your
die.
life on line like that, you don't just no. I'm gonna put my life on the line. Like I know it's a big moment and it's not
It's
as
because Sanji
trivial
thought
as
that Zoro was more useful. He said you can find another cook.
Yeah, but I'm like, you're stealing his honor almost.
Yeah, but like think about this for character development. Speaking of Zoro, think about this. When Zoro first gets introduced, he said, "If I ever have to throw away my ambition as a swordsman, you'll have to take responsibility. Like I'll become your pirate, but if I have to like stop being a swordsman because of you, I'm gonna hate you forever, whatever." That's when he's first introduced, and then all
Yeah.
the way up to Thriller Bark, where he says, "Fuck it, I'll die. I was gonna be a swordsman, but I'll die." Like, oh my god, that is like
That's big.
multiple hundreds of episodes of development, just completely flipping a character on his head. Like
No, well,
that's why.
Sanji they all have their own ambitions, so they would
Sure,
all
yeah,
be
they
giving
do.
up what they want to do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's why I said like both of them fighting over throwing away their life ambition. Like Sanji wants to find all blue. He wants to
Yeah.
find the ocean with all the fish. To just throw that away.
Yeah.
Just like that.
It's like you really see how much Luffy has done for all of them.
Yeah, they have faith in him that much.
Yeah.
That was insane. That was insane.
This-
And then you think Zoro's gonna die.
Yeah,
and then he just does
he
it.
does the thing with the pain where he just like what the hell? He just deflects all the pain off of Luffy's body. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
guess.
and then he's like Sanji finds him because dude, that's the thing. Here's
You
something
do with
that, like,
dude, looking at Zoro's eyes when Sanji finds him. Oh
well,
my
here's the
God.
here's like I knew that Zoro wouldn't die there. I did. I knew that he
Well,
wasn't.
yeah,
going to.
because I knew he wouldn't die either because plot armor. But like,
Yeah, but like when Sanji finds like all that blood and then you see his face, I'm like, bro,
yeah,
bro, I know what's gonna happen, but it still hurts. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
And then he finds him and he's like, yo, what happened? He's like, nothing.
And
Nothing.
Sanji and Robin are still the only ones who know what happened.
Oh yeah, Robin did know.
Yeah, because she did the ear thing.
Yeah,
But,
I
yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah,
But, like,
they still they don't
yeah,
want to tell Luffy
like,
about
to
that.
this-
You kidding me?
Arc that we've watched, like they still Robin and Sanji are still the only ones that
I
know.
wonder if they will tell him.
Yeah. Uh, maybe.
That'd be a
I
cool
don't know.
moment to see, but I don't know. I don't know if they should.
I feel like they will eventually, but I feel
Because
like
I mean,
the
the whole
more
reason they
they
didn't is
wait,
because
the
they didn't
less
want to
of a deal
they
it'll
didn't want
be.
to tell Luffy that he directly hurt them. You know,
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
what they want to do.
Luffy would
So
not
that's
take
why they're
that
not
well.
telling him. But it would still be an interesting moment to see how they would display that.
Yeah, Kuma, that made that arc right there. And
Yeah,
then
I agree. That and Brook.
yeah, and then at the end with Brook playing Binks's brew, and I'm
Oh my god,
oh
I
my
love
god,
that
that
song.
song is
I
so
love that
good.
song.
It's so good.
Ah, and then
How is it
he just
so
starts
good?
crying because he's like,
And then they
because they
start doing the
tell him
slow
Laboon's
version of
okay.
Binks's brew. I'm like, oh my god, this is so good.
Yeah, they tell him because they tell him like, yeah, Laboon's all right. You come with us
Yeah.
and you'll see him at some point. And then he starts crying, and then I start crying, and then
And then he
it
realizes
was a
that
big emotional moment.
he would be breaking his promise if he just went back to him now. He has to complete his journey. So he joins the crew.
Man, I love Brooke so much.
Yeah, that was great. That was so
We're
that
gonna have to split this up.
Kuma and that. Well, no, we can. It'll just be a long episode. Oh, I mean, I can still edit it out. So
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. You could make it like a One Piece episode specifically.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, we'll figure it out.
So yeah, that's it for Thriller Bark. So Brooke joins the crew. So we have 9 crew members now.
And
And-
then now it's like the journey to Sabaody, which
Yeah, and then
like I say journey 2 because there's
yeah.
a little bit before it.
they get to the red line, so we're officially halfway through the Grand Line now.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was everything with Duval, which was just fucking hilarious.
I love that character too. I love Duval. I love him.
That was so funny.
Like originally, he seems like this badass dude. Like he
Yeah.
seems cool. I loved his like armor design. I thought that was so
Honestly,
fucking cool.
before he took his helmet off and we saw his face, I thought it might be filler.
I was
but-
thinking that too at first. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, do I need to watch this? Because then Kami shows up and she was like, she felt like a filler character.
Yeah, she did.
And then all that like stuff, and then you get there, and then you realize that he's tied to why like
Yeah.
he becomes a criminal because he becomes like a multiple. I don't know how much Sanji's bounty was at that point, but he becomes like,
77 million.
yeah, he becomes like a really highly wanted criminal because he looks like the drawing. And
That
like
was
he's
so
a one-to-one copy of it too. It's so funny. It was so funny.
That was
And he was
so
just
great.
and Sanji was pissed that someone like him exists.
I know.
And so he starts beating the shit out of him.
Oh, and then Hachi shows back up. Fishman.
Yeah, which I got some things to say about that, but I'll save it.
Yeah. I thought it was a little shoehorned in to begin with, but once you got into the like Sabaody, I thought it was
Well,
nice-
his
a nice
reintroduction
touch.
I was fine with, but I feel like they glossed over the Nami stuff too much.
I mean-
They have a moment where he apologizes. To
Yeah,
her and
yeah,
everything.
when he's serving
But
the
I just-
takoyaki or whatever.
I know that this is like Luffy fashion, like perfect Luffy fashion, but he was too accepting too quick.
Yeah, but that's Luffy. He's not perfect.
I
He
know.
is a flawed
know.
character.
But like, he was so mad at how hurt Nami was back in Arlong Park, and
Yeah.
Hachi was one of the people who did that to her.
But like Nami is the one she gave the final call on whether to help him.
That's true.
Yeah, because if she didn't say that, they wouldn't have helped him.
I just would have liked a realization moment because remember Luffy didn't recognize him at first, and I would have liked that if he did recognize him to get like really mad. I would have liked that because it would have shown that how much he cares still for like his family that he's built. But it's it's perfect Luffy fashion, like I said. Like he just forgets and forgives, which is fine.
But I like sometimes that happens. Sometimes enemies do become friends, and sometimes vice versa.
I mean that's how most of the crew
I
exists.
thought it was well done. Like you could tell Nami was very apprehensive about it to begin with, but
yeah.
I think she was definitely influenced by Kami and Papagu, that Hachi wasn't as bad as she thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we get that, and Sanji bashes his face in, makes him perfect.
Yeah, that was so good too because then
Yeah.
he went from like some like angry evil dude to like constantly saying like handsome, and his crew was like,
and he tries to
"Yes,
wink,
handsome."
and his face is like,
and he can't wink, dude. I love that character so much. And then
That's
that
so funny.
leads to Sabaody,
And
which
Sabaody.
is just insane.
It's just
in its
so
own right.
cool. It's just
It's
just the island itself. How there's no magnetic.
really cool.
There's
It
no.
reminded me a little too much of Upper Yard from Skypia. Like it reminded me a little too much of that place.
It's not exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
but uh, it literally started off like insane from the first couple episodes.
yeah, that was.
And
So,
I was
that was
messaging
crazy.
someone, one of our friends. I was literally talking to like kind of like a live tweet. Like I was just every single time I experienced a moment, I would message him and be like, "Holy shit, this!" or "What do you think of this?" or "This happened, this," and because they're all the way caught up, and
Okay, yeah.
I was like, "So how long is Saburi as an arc?" I literally said that first. I messaged him. It was like the first couple episodes, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't tell you that." I was
Yeah.
like, "Huh?" He's like, "Yeah, I literally can't tell you." I was like, okay. I guess I'll just have to see." And then I realized that it cuts off after like 15 episodes because there's,
Yeah.
the big insane moment.
Dude, no, I have a friend who's a manga reader who's all caught up as well. So I was chatting with him about it. Um, and he's like one of his favorite characters is Law, so he couldn't wait for me to meet Law.
Yeah, the whole introduction of like those other, new
Yeah,
world
the 11
captains.
Supernovas and Dark King Rayleigh.
Yeah.
Oh my god. When they go to save Kami, and that moment with Luffy punching the Celestial Dragon, just
That is the
they
single
go to
best
that
moment.
frame. Oh my
Oh,
god, what a frame that is.
that is the single like best punch I've seen in a show ever.
That's a fucking amazing punch.
Yeah. Like at first, my favorite, like for a long time, was when Luffy hit why am I forgetting his name now? The guy back in Jaya before they went to Skypia.
Oh, yeah,
With
the
the
blonde
springs.
dude. Yeah, that was great. Where he just
Bellamy. That's
Yeah,
what it
yeah,
was.
that's right.
When he's bouncing around and Luffy just standing still, just one punch puts him through the ground. I was like, dude, that is the single most badass moment in the entire
Yeah.
series so far. And then it gets one upped by an even better punch.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was
Where
so
they literally
crazy.
use the fucking manga frames where
Yeah,
they
it was
go
impact
black and
frames.
white.
It was just one long impact frame.
Yeah, that was like you could just felt the visceralness of that scene.
Oh, dude, it was so insane.
Oh, and,
So
and
good.
like Captain Kidd and Lard watching from each direction, and the
And they're
whole
like, man, this guy's insane.
yeah,
This guy's actually insane.
and
Because I mean,
Kidd's
you
like,
punch one of those
yo,
celestial
he's
dragons.
serious.
Yeah, you punch one of those celestial dragons, and you get like
Yeah, it's a
an
death
entire
wish.
fucking battalion there to arrest you, kill you, whatever.
And everyone's watching, and everyone's just like fucking dumbfounded at what he just
because that's
did.
something like normally when they say like, oh, these are big royalty, you're not supposed to hit them. Like in some shows, it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, you know that you're not, but it doesn't seem that tension heavy. But like,
Yeah.
you get reminded of like Buster calls with with Robin, and you're like, dude, these guys, you cannot touch them as much of
Yeah.
a piece of shit as any of them are. Do not. It felt like you knew not to, and then he's like, nah, I don't fucking care. He just did it, and I was like, oh my god.
And then that's that. Those consequences are reinforced when at the end of the Sabaody arc. So you really
Yeah.
feel that what he just
Yeah,
did there was dumb, but he had to do it.
There was definite consequence.
Yeah. And then the fight with Kid and Law and Luffy, where they're all fighting the soldiers, and you see their abilities, was really cool.
They're all like fighting over who's gonna like take the fucking stage. And
yeah,
show
and they're
off
all
their
like
cool
ridiculing
moves.
each other's abilities.
Yeah, yeah. I like out of those three in terms of character design, I love how Kid looks. Kid looks so cool.
I love how both
He
of them
looks
look.
so cool.
I really like how Law looks too.
Yeah, Law is cool too. I've heard that Law is like a really cool character later on, but I don't know anything about him right now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Other than
we
the fact
haven't
that he's
seen,
a doctor.
we haven't seen those characters post time skip yet, so
Yeah, that is true.
we don't know
Neither
what they
of us
look like
have.
now. So yeah, we get to the big moment where they defeat.
Yeah,
that...
there was already multiple gigantic moments in this arc, and there's like
Yeah.
10 episodes so far.
Well,
And
first of all,
and there's still a bigger moment.
they meet Rayleigh when he breaks out of the auction
dude,
house.
that
And he
was so
does,
cool.
and he uses hockey, and you're like, what the fuck is he doing? I don't know what hockey is yet.
Before you only think of it as mantra.
Yeah, Mantara, as they say it. Like at that point, I didn't know if it was a devil fruit power or because like Eneru was using mantra, but he was using the predictive mantra. You know.
Yeah, but but mantra is hockey. It's just they gave.
Yeah,
it
it's just a different name.
Reason.
But there are different types of hockey. And Rayleigh was using Conqueror's hockey, and I don't think Eneru used Conqueror's hockey.
No, I don't think he did either.
Yeah. So you're at that point, I was like, wait, is that a devil fruit power or something else? So
Dude,
I didn't know.
I love that's the thing. I love Rayleigh's introduction because he's shown as such a badass, but then you find out like that he's just joking around and he just got himself captured.
Well, yeah, well, that reinforces how much of a badass he is
Yeah, he
because he
doesn't
doesn't
give a shit.
care.
He knows he can get out whenever he wants.
Yeah, he doesn't
And
give a
like
fuck.
he's been laying low ever since Roger died and all that. And it's like
Yeah,
this guy's a fucking secret badass.
yeah, he's insane. And then you have that moment with the crew with him at the bar where Robin is asking what the will of D is, and Luffy's
Dude,
like,
no, no,
"No,
no,
you
no,
better
yeah.
not fucking say
No.
anything."
It's not that. It's not that. That's not what he says. No. It's when Usopp's asking about where the One Piece is.
Yeah, yeah,
Usopp
true.
asks, and he's like, "Where's the One Piece?" And then, dude, Luffy gets so mad. I love that scene.
Yeah,
I
that
love
was
that scene
great.
to death because Luffy gets so mad, and he's like, "Why the hell?" And this is such a Luffy thing too. He goes,
Hmm.
"Why the hell would I want to go on a journey and know how to get there? That's not a
Yeah,
journey.
that's a
That's a cheat.
yeah, that's not an adventure.
That's just
What's
a
the point?
shortcut."
Yeah,
He said, "Usopp, I don't want an answer. Don't you ever ask that again." Like that was so good. I love
yeah,
that
I
scene.
love that. And well, yeah, what I was talking about with Robin asking what the will of D is, and Rayleigh calmly and slowly
He's
explains
like, "Are
that
you
you
sure you
don't
want
want
to
to
know
know.
that?" Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like, "You sure?" He's like, "I can
you
tell you,
sure?
but you don't want to know."
Yeah, and like you probably should find out
There's
for
so much
yourself.
power in that man's dialogue.
Yeah.
He's got the knowledge of like 100 years
I
on his
love
back.
his voice actor. I know I watched the dub, but I love his
Yeah,
voice
I don't know what he
actor.
sounds like in the dub, but
He sounds
he
so good.
sounds cool as shit in the sub too. But he just has a cool like vibe to him, no matter
Yeah,
what.
he's
Um,
he's just that cool old man, you know.
he's just that cool man. So then you meet Rayleigh, and
Yeah, and then shit hits the fan with the
then shit
pacifistas.
already hit the fan, and then it hits the fan again,
Yeah, so they take down one pacifista with all of them attacking it.
and they all look like Kuma.
Yeah, and yeah, well, that moment that you realize that, wow, these are just copies of Kuma
But
because
then
they're
none
in
of them
three
actually
different
do Kuma
places.
things. They're all
Yeah,
just big
they're
killing machine
knockoffs.
robots
They're still
that
really
don't
powerful,
they
but they're
don't actually have
knockoffs.
his specific power. They just
No.
do stuff.
And then all the other pacifistas show up, and Kizaru with the foot about to kill Zoro, and then Rayleigh shows
Oh
up.
my god, yes.
I like I said it before, like moments like that where there's no build up, you can't do them that often because
No,
it
you
it
can't.
just feels shoehorned
They need
and
to they need to be like far and few between to have a lot of impact.
yeah, if you do them too often, it just feels lazy.
Hmm.
So but that was fine because it doesn't happen that often. But that was sick when he's fighting him and you're like, how the fuck is he even laying a finger on him?
Dude, and that's another thing. Like back in like pretty early, well not pretty early, but back in like pre-time skip stuff, like the animation wasn't consistently amazing for One Piece. It was just always good enough. And then they bring in certain specific animators and they make scenes look
Yeah.
so fluid and so good. Like I remember because Kizaru's introduction where he's like that like where he turns into light and he like floats
Yeah.
around. The way the animation is
When
for him,
those
it looks
pirates are
so
trying to
cool.
shoot him in the head and it just goes through his head.
Oh my god, yeah! Like they brought in the perfect animators for that dude's
Yeah.
specific scenes. Um,
Dude, at
God,
that point, so we hadn't seen Akainu yet. So we at that point we only saw Aokiji and Kizaru. So
mm-hmm.
I was talking with my friend who's a manga reader, and I'm like, dude, are all the admirals like groovy black dudes? Like, what's going on here? It turns out Akainu is not a groovy black dude. He is the opposite of
Hawaiian
groovy. And he's not black.
No, he's like a Hawaiian.
Yeah, but then you finally have that moment where it's the first moment in the whole show where Luffy runs and he tells his crew to
He's
run
like,
as
"Oh,
well.
yeah, we gotta run away."
He realizes he's totally
The
outclassed.
amount of like tension and anxiety in that scene for me, I was like panicking constantly. I was like,
Yeah, I was like, how the
everyone's
fuck? What are they
dying.
gonna do? What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?
Everyone's getting like sent to somewhere. We don't know where they're going, and everyone's
Yeah,
disappearing. And I was like, because I was wondering, I was like, how well? Because I already knew there was a time skip long before I started watching One Piece, and I was like,
yep,
how well is it going to transition? Because every long running shonen has a time skip at some point. How are they going to do their time skip transition?
hmm
That is like the most jarring way to do it. Is to just
yeah,
like make it look like you literally just killed everyone, and then just send them on opposite sides of the
exactly.
fucking world.
And that at that moment, that's basically that's when I tweeted or shortly after, like during Impel. I think right at the start of Impel Down, but it really started right at that moment where like you can't stop until
Dude,
they
it's
get back
literally
together.
impossible.
You cannot. It's impossible to stop at that point. You have to keep going until they're back together.
You can't let them stay separated.
Yeah. And that takes you all the way to the fucking time skip. So you're literally going like crazy for
That's
like
what I mean.
100.
This is what I was thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
so they get separated at like four. It was like early 400s or like late 300s, something like that.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think
you're
it was
like,
late 300s.
but and then I did actually like I did some cheating and I did look up what episode the time skip starts, and it was like it's like 516, and I was like, there's like 100 episodes before they get back.
Yeah.
What?
Crazy,
then-
right?
And then to find out, because I was like, what are they gonna do before then? Like what are they gonna do? Because then I thought, well, then maybe they get back together before the time skip, and then
Yeah, I didn't know if they were gonna get back together before or after the time skip. That was
yeah,
really
and then,
confusing.
And then you find out Luffy decides to go on his own little escapade by himself.
Oh, well, yeah, let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
So they all land at their respective places, but we really only focus on Luffy mainly. Like you get a little bit from the other characters, but only
Yeah.
like half episodes. Yeah, he lands on the island filled with women, and of course
Amazon
Luffy
Louis.
lands there.
It's a good thing that he of all people did.
Yeah, because he's the only one not interested.
Amazon Lily's just hilarious. I love
Yeah,
that arc.
That was at the moment where Hancock actually falls in love with him. I'm just like, no way.
Yeah.
No
'cause-
way.
Well, that's the thing. I heard about her before from like some of my other friends, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Hancock, I love her. She's like a great character." And I was like, for the first like 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes of Amazon Lily, I'm like, I fucking hate this bitch. I was like, I
Yes,
hate her so
she's
much.
a cunt.
I was like, this is just like, she's the worst. And then,
Yeah.
she has that one moment where, she actually takes a liking to Luffy. And I'm like, okay, she's all right.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, she's fine.
Dude, literally it happens all the way up until the time skip, but every fucking moment that she starts fawning over Luffy, I just crack up.
It's really funny.
I just lose.
It's really
It's
funny.
the funniest shit.
Because she doesn't know what it like. This is her first experience with like any relationship. or
Yeah, and
anything like
Luffy
that.
is totally oblivious.
Yeah, and she's like, there was one scene where he was like saying her name or whatever, and she's like, "Am I gonna get pregnant from this?"
Right
Like,
at
is
the
this- she's
end
like, is this
when,
marriage?
like right at the end when they say goodbye, right at the time skip, and she's like, "Well, he must have said my name correct like 10 times now. I guess this must mean we're married."
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's calling her hammock and not hammock.
Yeah, hammock. Oh my god, I love that so much. Amazon Lily's just funny, and it also actually serves a really good purpose as well. I mean, it's how
Yeah.
Luffy unlocks his Conqueror's Haki.
Well,
So
yeah,
there's
that's
that.
how he realizes that it's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I couldn't tell if he already had it or if it was like an unlock type thing.
He had it, he just couldn't control it.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the first time he actually used it though.
Yeah.
But
that's
like
what
he
I
didn't
mean.
have any he didn't know he was going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And he just made everyone pass out.
yeah. Well, most of them.
Yeah, most of them.
Yeah.
So then there's that, and then you find out where you get scattered, sprinkled episodes of where everyone else is,
Yeah.
like very sparingly, all the way up until time skip. But then you find
I'll
out
say
about-
it is a bit convenient how they're placed. Like, of course,
Well,
Nami
yeah,
goes
it
to the
was-
Weather Island, and
Well,
Zoro
think
goes
about it
to the
this way.
island where Mihawk lives.
Yeah, it is convenient, but it makes sense because
But
they
because
get
Kuma
sent-
intentionally did that.
they get sent to places where it'll be an exactly like perfect place for them to work on what they're bad at.
Yeah.
Like like Zoro gets all he is a swordsman, so he gets sent to a place where he can be a stronger swordsman. Sanji gets sent to a place.
Well,
Um,
Kuma, like, if you bring in the Kuma aspect, you can kind of justify it, because if he did have some knowledge of what the characters are good at or bad at, he might have placed those specific locations for them. But that's really the only justification for where they're sent.
Yeah, like I really like
Yeah.
I like Usopp where he gets sent.
Yeah.
because it's
Dude,
just-
Heracles MVP.
Yeah.
Heracles is fucking awesome.
He just gets sent to a place where everything just tries to eat you,
Mhm.
and so he has to learn to like not be scared.
Yep.
Um,
And he gets fat as fuck.
yeah, he does get very big. But anyway, going back to the Luffy part, because we already know where he got sent. He finds
Yep.
out about Ace.
Yep. And he starts freaking out. And
Yeah,
he
because he
needs to
finds
do
out
something.
Ace gets captured, which because of when I was watching, I took a big break after Water 7, and then once I picked
Mhm.
back up at like Thriller Bark, I was like, this feels like so long ago. But like,
Yeah.
if you're just watching the show, binging from that point, you just found out like an episode ago, at least from Thriller Bark's point, you find out like an episode ago that Ace got captured by Blackbeard. But for
Yeah,
me,
because
it
there's
felt
that
like,
one episode where they fight.
yeah, for me, it felt like months ago. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that just happened like days ago in the show.
Yeah, so for context, Tyler watched through Skypiea, braked, Water 7 braked, and then up to the where we are now, which is one arc after the time skip.
Yeah, I took a break between Water
Yeah.
7 and Thriller Bark, and then I just binged.
So I did a little differently. I stopped at the first point the same. I stopped right after Skypiea, but then I went all the way from Water 7 to where we are
That's
now.
the only difference.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
pretty similar, but not exactly the same.
But yeah.
So then we go to Impel Down. Or at least we Luffy's like wrapped around her on the fucking name.
yeah.
And then she's ordering like tons and tons of food, and all the soldiers are confused why she's eating so much.
Luffy's just chomping.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so we get to Impel Down, and I'll admit the last part of Impel Down did kind of drag for me.
For me, most of it did. I wasn't crazy about that arc at all.
Yeah. It definitely, like, I understand why there needs to be a justification for getting down to each level, but it did kind of feel like it was dragging.
I didn't like it.
Especially at the point where he gets down at the bottom where he's poisoned, and he's trying to fight off the poison, and you're kind of like, fuck, can we speed this up a little?
Yeah, honestly, I felt like I was rushing through those episodes just so I could get to the climax. I was so
Yeah, I
annoyed.
rushed through those episodes like crazy.
I was so annoyed. Like I liked that.
I wouldn't say I disliked it, but it did
I
drag.
wasn't crazy about it.
It
Like,
did
I don't
drag.
think there's few One Piece arcs where I literally didn't like them, and this Impel Down's not one of them because it has moments that I like, but like I wasn't crazy about any of the fights. Magellan I thought was kind of cool, but I wasn't crazy about his character. Like
I'd say,
I liked that Bone Clay came back.
yeah, one of
I
the
did like
redeeming
that.
qualities about that arc is that we get a lot of old characters back. We get
Yeah,
Buggy,
Bon Clay,
we get Bon
Buggy,
Clay, we got Mr. 3, we got
Crocodile.
Crocodile.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
And
those
then-
good guys.
There's an introduction.
Jinbei.
Yes, Jinbei.
Dude, I love Jinbei. He
You
might
don't
be like
see
one
much
of
of
my favorite
him
characters.
At first, you don't like
No,
because
but
because
one thing I
Piece.
realized,
What were you saying?
one thing I realized after I stopped watching, after Fishman Island, is that he was mentioned before Arlong Park. Like
Huh?
there was a moment where remember Zoro's bros?
Yeah.
There was a moment when they were going to Arlong Park. I think it was one of the bros, Luffy and Sanji, where they took that boat from the Baratier to Arlong Park, where one the bros mentions Jinbei and became a warlord because he helped Arlong or something like that. And I totally forgot that his name was even mentioned that early.
I forgot about that too. I mean, I don't even
Yeah.
remember that. So
Yeah. It was,
I'm not surprised because One Piece does a lot of referencing things and seeding things very early, and then letting them show up like hundreds of episodes later. So,
yeah.
But yeah, Jinbei gets introduced very very little at first. Like you just see him chained up with Ace in their conversations, which are super interesting. Like really, the only parts of Impel Down that I really liked that much was like
I loved when Hancock told Ace that Luffy's here, and he just freaks.
well because he didn't want him there. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
He thought
well, he's
Luffy was gonna get
afraid for
captured.
him.
Yeah, he thought Luffy was gonna
Yeah.
get captured, which he did. And
Well, he got
then-
defeated.
Yeah,
Well,
he
yeah,
did.
he
Well,
got
I mean, he got
captured, but
thrown
he-
in a cell. He did. He got
Yeah.
captured.
He did.
And
he
then there
did.
was the part with Yvonne and like the secret like resistance living inside of the prison, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, for the most part, Impel Down just it made sense in context, and it made sense why it exists. But I don't know. I just
Well, I also liked the fact that Eva was a part of the resistance, and Eva decides to help Luffy because Eva realizes that Luffy is Dragon's son.
yeah, and that's the leader of the resistance.
Yeah.
Of
So
course he's gonna help him.
she, whatever. I
If a
don't
dude.
know. He realizes that it's like a sign, so they all break out. I liked the part at the end of the breakout with Jinbei and the whale sharks. That was cool. And I
Oh,
liked
I thought you were
his.
gonna talk about with. I thought you were gonna talk about with Bone Clay
Oh yeah,
on the.
Bon Clay's a what a guy.
What an
Uh,
well, yeah, what a bro.
yeah,
Like he shut the door and opened the other gates.
yeah, and then we just like don't see him again after that.
I'm convinced he dies.
Well, we
I'm
don't know.
convinced. No, we don't know. You and I don't know, but I'm
Yeah,
convinced he dies. Like it just seems like it.
I feel like they would show that though,
Yeah, maybe.
or
I
at
don't
least
know.
mention it at some point. But like that could happen later. We
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, but
And
what a guy! And I thought the escape, yeah, as I said before, it did drag, but I thought the
that whole
escape
arc
was
is
good.
just like dragging on the entire time. That's
Yeah,
why I didn't like it. It was
it
just constantly
definitely it
dragging.
definitely dragged, but I didn't think it was terrible. And
But
I
at
think
least
the characters coming back definitely redeemed it.
there's one thing about Impel Down that I am thankful for, and that's making me actually like Buggy because I didn't like Buggy before.
Yeah, true.
I did not like Buggy at first, and then his stuff in Impel Down made me actually like his character. So now I like Buggy.
Well, not
Thank
just
God.
Buggy, but it also gives you in like we already liked Bon Clay to begin with, but it makes you like Bon Clay even more, and we kind of like Mr. Three now.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Well,
I
at least
really
he's on
don't.
our side now,
Yeah,
especially
yeah, but I just
with what he did in the Whitebeard War as well.
yeah, he's just I
Um,
don't know. I'm not a fan of him. But anyway,
yeah, all right, let's get on to the juicy shit here.
this is the main event. Finally.
So, that entrance though from Whitebeard,
Yeah.
shit, gets his ship coated, pops up, tremor fruit, bitch, I'm here.
He does, dude. He shows up ready
Yeah,
to fight. And Ace is just like
shocked that he even
he's
came.
like, y'all didn't have to come for me, but I guess do
Yeah,
your shit.
but like deep down, like you knew there was no choice. Like they were gonna show up.
Oh yeah. And it was such a like that's the one thing, like there's such a build up to Marineford, and then it just
Yeah,
explodes, and it's
that
just
was
one big
every
fight.
episode of that was fucking
It's
crazy.
just one big fight.
Yeah,
Like
and
I have my gripes about even that arc. Like I don't think
yeah,
that arc is
sure.
perfect. Like l- holy shit, that was a lot of ice Luffy was running on.
Yeah, that was a fuck ton of ice.
How many episodes was
It,
him
it
not
was the
even
same. Yeah, it was the same thing when he got to the scaffold. I'm like, dude, he's not that far away. Come on.
Yeah, it was like 6 episodes of him getting up the scaffolding.
Yeah, that was definitely. I understand that. I definitely felt that as well. I'm like, dude, he's been running for 3 episodes and he's like 20% of the way.
But Marineford is just huge, dude. It's a changing of times. It's a
Yeah,
changing of an era. It's characters, having their start, characters having
it's
their
the
end.
climax of everything pre-time skip.
It is just an explosion. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
And it sucks that the final arc before the time skip doesn't have anyone but like any of the crew but Luffy in it.
yeah,
It just felt so weird.
it did feel really weird.
Even for binging, it felt like a long time.
It did. It was a long time without the rest of the crew, and then yeah, it was just odd because you didn't know if they were gonna get together.
Yeah, but I feel like that made the
Before the
reunion
time
so much
skip.
better.
It did for sure. But I like
Um,
we still haven't had that moment where the crew and Luffy talk about Ace.
I don't think
know
they
if we're
want to,
ever gonna
honestly.
get that.
Yeah, I don't think they want to.
Yeah, because the time skip happens, like we don't know if we're ever gonna get that. But back to the actual war.
Because they learned about it. They learned about it.
Yeah,
over,
but,
over,
like
news and stuff.
They knew that would crush Luffy, so
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why initially
That's why
they wanted to go.
Yeah,
help
that's
him.
what I mean. That's why they wanted to go back. But then
Yeah.
he came back that next day and he had that tattoo.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a tattoo. It might have just been like.
No,
Sharpie
no,
or
it was just
something.
it looked like a tattoo though. Like
Yeah.
the 3 years or
Yeah,
the
but like he
3
got the
days crossed
idea
out
from
3 years.
Ace's arm, which
That
I
is
think was a
true,
really
yeah.
nice touch.
It looked the same.
Yeah. But yeah, back to the actual war. when Luffy shows up and he has that little discussion with Whitebeard. I loved that little interaction with and Whitebeard just calls him a cheeky little punk.
Yeah.
And then everyone realizes that he's his brother, and then the whole thing was fucking televised.
Yeah.
And they're just announcing that Ace is Gold Roger's son and the Luffy is Dragon's son, which I didn't even realize that they weren't actually related until they said that Ace was Roger's son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was surprised about that as well. Although, like, sure, you could see it being like they had different dads or whatever, but
Because let's be honest, they kind of do look alike.
they do. Well, that's the thing, they do, and then also like they both have D in their name.
Yeah.
And so
Sure.
I didn't know whether that was the family thing or it was because Ace was Portuguese D Ace and then Luffy was Monkey D Luffy.
Yeah.
You could argue that that's like, oh, they had different dads but they had the same mom, but no, they just had different dads and moms.
Ace has that moment where he's talking to Garp in the cell where he explains why he took his mother's name, but he still doesn't mention who his father is.
Yeah.
So we used that at that point. You still don't know. Yeah, that like if you like, there's so many moments in that battle. Like everything when he meets Smoker again, and then Hancock defends him,
dude.
and Hancock is like, "Get your hands off my husband."
Smoker just like, I love Smoker as a character, but he just gets handed L after L after
Yeah.
L after L every single time. I saw this on Twitter recently too. Someone pointed it out. Every time Smoker tries to catch Luffy, someone shows up and whoops his ass.
Yep.
First, it was literally in Logtown. First, it was literally Dragon, who just showed up,
Mm-hmm.
and then after
And then
that,
Alabasta, he was kind of just left in a situation where he.
well, yeah,
couldn't go
Alabasta
after-
Ace started flaming shit up,
Yeah.
and then after that, he tries to catch him. In I don't know if there's one before Marineford other than that, but he shows up Marineford and Hancock beats his ass.
Yeah, that was the first time you actually see. Well, Hancock is not a pushover. She actually knows how to fight.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's a warlord for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many moments in that when all the crew members for Whitebeard realize that's his little brother, and then Luffy uses third gear to knock down that giant, and everyone's cheering him on.
Well, yeah, and then also like talk about Impel Down returning characters. I mean, Marineford was literally just like
Everyone.
the Avengers Infinity War of
Everyone
returning
except
characters.
for the rest of the crew.
Except for the actual crew, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Mihawk was there. You got to meet the rest of the warlords.
Moria
Blackbeard shows up. Gecko Moria comes back and then does nothing.
gets fucked up by.
You get to meet Doflamingo, which I was very
Don
interested on.
Cogite Don Flamingo or something like that.
And then you
Yeah,
see,
that's so cool.
oh, what's their name? Well, I guess I mean Jinbei is there, so you get to see him do stuff finally.
True.
Uh,
I loved Luffy's fight with Mihawk, where he realizes that if he goes for the bazooka, his hands are gonna get chopped off.
Yeah, he realizes it beforehand, which
Yeah.
is a part of his hockey.
Exactly, and then Mihawk has that realization where he understands why this kid has so much potential, like how he inspires
Like, man,
others
he knew.
and all that.
Yeah, he was like, man, he knew I was gonna chop his hands off.
Yeah, but like more so, he realizes that Luffy's power is that he has friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where he has that little inner monologue with himself.
That's the thing. Mihawk's character is always like a mystery. Like I don't know how much.
That's what makes
we'll
him
ever...
cool, though.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the mysterious like guy. You don't know which side he's actually on for the most part. And I'd like him to have more scenes later on, but I don't even know if he will. Like I don't know how much they're gonna show of him.
Well, we're eventually gonna get this scene where he faces off with Zoro. It has to happen. So maybe we'll get a backstory at that point.
Are you talking about like them actually fighting, or are you talking
Yeah.
about them training?
No, them actually fighting for real.
Yeah, you're right. That
Yeah.
you're right. That has to happen.
Yeah. Like they've hinted at it too many times for it not to happen.
Yeah, they have. And Mihawk is literally considered the best swordsman. So
Yeah. So he has to beat the best swordsman to be the best swordsman.
that's one thing that's really cool. Like I was talking earlier about how One Piece like sprinkles in and seeds like plot lines and then has them referenced like hundreds of episodes later. I mean, Mihawk shows up in the third, fourth arc of the series, beats the shit out of Zoro, like cuts him up.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, you're my goal. In like 1,000 episodes, I'll beat you maybe. Like it builds up so much later, and we still haven't seen anything
Mm-hmm.
about that, other than Zoro literally being trained by the man during the time skip.
Exactly. I think another problem I have with the Whitebeard War is that the admirals kind of just took their time. They didn't really like. They could have ended the whole fight if they wanted to. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, but I think for plot's sake,
Yeah,
they
for
spaced
plot's
it.
sake, I understand. Like, you could make the argument that they were distracted with other soldiers and other enemies. Like, it's not like totally. They didn't like break the plot by doing that, but
Yeah.
like, and they still won in the end.
Well, and you got
But
to think about
yeah,
like the admirals as characters. I mean, you can't say much for Akainu, but for Kizaru specifically, like he just plays around, like he just has fun.
yeah,
So,
he's carefree.
so for him, like waiting for people to get to the throne, it makes sense. Aokiji, I don't know where he stands in terms of how long he did like completely
Well,
freeze the ocean.
in Fishman Island, we kind of get a hint at what kind of character he is.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah,
that's
so I
like
can
it.
kind of understand him. But Kizaru, he is kind of like carefree, but he could have fucked shit up if he wanted to.
Well, he does at some point. I mean, he beats
Yeah,
the
but
shit
like
out of Luffy like
he could have
multiple
actually
times.
like ended it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And yeah, when Akainu just goes fucking nuts, and then obviously kills
The big,
Ace.
yeah, the big
Well,
thing.
before that, when he actually, when Luffy finally frees Ace, and you had that moment with the giant fireball and that frame with Ace and Luffy in the fire, that was so cool. That was
Yeah, it
so
was
well
animated
animated.
really well.
That was so well
And
done.
that was
I
another
loved
hint
that.
at like the newer animation style.
Yeah,
It was just great looking.
that is a frame like that you vividly remember.
Not to mention that during this entire war and this, this big battle of trying to free one person, you also learn about like half of Whitebeard's crew all in that
Yeah,
portion.
you so many different devil fruit powers. Marco with the fucking Zoan type mythical beast
Yeah,
with the
like the
phoenix.
Phoenix.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. And then you see the swordsman. I think his name is Two Swords Vista.
Mm-hmm.
He was really cool. He fights with Mihawk. Yeah, and the guy that's made of diamond too.
That guy's cool as shit.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
And,
But yeah, you
oh
meet,
yeah,
like, this
and
entire crew.
Little Oars Jr. Damn.
Yeah, yeah, Oars Jr. That's crazy. That like
Yeah.
there's another Oars.
You saw Gecko like frothing at the mouth when he saw him.
Yeah, because he found a replacement.
Yeah, but that didn't really work out in the end, did
No,
it?
no, it didn't.
Yeah, we get to the big moment here when Ace is killed.
Yeah. You should put well, like when you're editing, put a huge
Well, dude,
spoiler.
we've
warning.
been
I
talking
know, I know,
about
I know.
spoilers, like
I
they
know. But like a point of no return at that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, rip.
Yeah,
I'll
like,
say this now. I was spoiled on it so early.
Oh, dude, how much
So
shit
early.
do you get spoiled on? Oh
Just
my god.
a shit ton of pre-time skip stuff. Post-time skip, I don't think I know anything.
Okay, good.
Pre-time skip, I have been spoiled on a lot. I got spoiled on the Ace stuff. I got spoiled on every crew member joining. I got spoiled on second gear. I got spoiled on a lot.
Damn,
A
that
lot.
sucked. Yeah,
But that's my own fault for, looking into it. I didn't like
Yeah.
specifically look up like who dies, but like, Twitter does a good job. of
every
spoiling
time
stuff.
like a One Piece video comes up in my YouTube recommended, I'm like, don't look, and just
Yeah,
click
I
that
have an
triple
issue
bar
with-
thing, hit not interested.
Like obviously I'm not gonna like click on the video, but I have an issue with
Yeah.
like not looking.
Yeah.
So, and also just like comments on videos, like episode comments. Whenever Ace showed up, nobody gave a shit about any new watchers. Everyone just assumed, oh yeah, you're just rewatching. So like especially back when Alabasta, when he first showed up, the first few comments is like, Ace, oh my god, wow, I get to see him alive. It's like,
Dude, why are you watching the episode comments?
it's because it's the comments for those episodes. I didn't know they were gonna spoil 400 episodes ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely shitty of them to do that, but like with something that's been going since 1999,
I know it's my own.
you gotta be like it happens with me too. Like I got like a half spoiler on something that happens after the time skip. It's not like a plot thing, but it isn't.
There's a couple things I know, but
Yeah, there's like one half thing I know, but it isn't. It won't affect my experience at all. Like
yeah, no, like what I know for post time skip literally does nothing for the plot except for like
yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I won't say it either, but yeah, it won't affect anything. Um, but yeah, that's the moment where Ace dies. Oof, that was rough. It wasn't as bad as the Mary, but I
Actually,
definitely
hold on. There is something that I want to ask you about that
okay.
I think is a bit overlooked whenever I talk to people about Marineford or I see people talking about it. No one mentions the Kobe scenes. I
No,
love
whoa,
everything.
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to
Okay, I was gonna say, well, because I don't know if that happens before or after Ace.
No, Kobe, that's right at the end.
Is it?
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
are you talking
you
about?
have the scenes where he fights Luffy, when he gets
Well, that's what I
fucking
mean. Right
sucker
after that, he
punched.
experiences like this like war PTSD
Yeah, he
type
has that
thing.
existential crisis, but his big moment is right at the end.
I don't know. I really liked Kobe's scenes where he was like
Well,
realizing just how
and they
brutal
were
people
building
are.
up to that moment at the end.
Yeah, that was
Which we'll get to.
crazy.
We'll get to
Kobe's
that.
involvement is so important.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But Ace's moments where he's dying in his arms and he's like talking about how he's appreciative that someone actually fucking loved him.
Ah, dude. Ah,
Yeah.
ah.
Ugh, that got me. I definitely cried there. It wasn't like uncontrollable, but definitely got me there.
It was hard because
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna happen too. Like I was like, oh, here's where it happens, and then
And then like Luffy just goes into complete shock.
yeah,
Like-
he's gone, done.
Yeah, he's totally
Fight over.
out.
You cannot do anything else at that
Yeah.
point.
His fucking face. Oh
And
my
Jinbei
god.
had to save him.
Yeah.
He
put
had to
his
get the
fucking
man
life
out of
on the
there,
line.
and then Jinbei gets a hole in his chest.
Yeah. I was like, you think he's gonna die, and then finally, fucking Crocodile, fucking saves him.
That's the thing. I really like what they did with his character.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell if he's like he's gonna be like that like rival, not on your side, but still an ally character.
Well, you almost kind of forget that he's a pirate, and that's what he says. He's like, he'd rather save Luffy than watch the Navy win.
Yeah, that I really like Crocodile's involvement as well. Like
Yeah.
he fights Akainu with Jinbei and
Mm-hmm.
it's
And then
also
Whitebeard's crew shows up, and like they have that little moment where they're talking to Akainu, where they realize how important Luffy is.
They're like, man, let Ace's brother get out of here.
Yeah. And then Law shows up, and Law is like, "Yo, give me fucking Luffy now." And
I'm a
Buggy's like,
doctor. It's like, what? You're a what?
and Buggy's just like, I'm just like, fucking drop it, Buggy.
Oh
you
yeah,
fucking
because
idiot."
Buggy had him. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
And then well yeah, Buggy had his hat. That's what it was.
Well, no, his hat was on the ground at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so they submerge, or they try to get away, and then we get the Kobe moment.
Well, there's two things back to back. Kobe
Oh
shows
yeah,
up.
well yeah, I know what you're gonna
Yeah,
say.
Kobe shows up and he's like, you literally like this
Dude,
character
that was so epic.
this character
that
that's been
speech.
the biggest pussy ever won't stand up. Shows that he's developed into someone who can stand up to people. Says, hey, you gotta, you know, because he's practically like throwing a lot his life away as a marine right there
Yeah.
to save Luffy.
That took
he's like-
so much balls.
He's like, yeah, no, don't, isn't the fighting done? Whatever. And then big man shows up behind him and he's like, you've done all the fighting you need to do. And he
Yeah,
realizes it's the man.
Dude, when I saw that red hair, oh my god.
You realize that the man shows up and there's the scene where he picks up the hat and he's got
it's
the
been
hat.
a long time, old friend. And it was like, oh.
Dude,
when it was when they pan out and they show that it's actually Shanks, like just when I found just like the Laboon revelation in Thriller Bark, I fucking screamed. Like
Yeah.
that was
I didn't know Shanks was
so
gonna show
well
up, but
done.
it made sense though because it was literally a changing of times. Because Whitebeard,
Yeah.
we completely glossed over, but yeah, Whitebeard, dies
And then
as well.
Garp has that little moment where he's like, "That's
Oh
that
my
son
God,
of a
yeah.
bitch that turned my
Fuck.
grandson into a pirate."
Dude, there's so many things like that. I
Yeah,
keep
when
forgetting.
dude, when Garp lets Luffy punch him,
Ah,
dude, and then And then Garp, he's trying to when Akainu kills Garp,
Kills.
Ace.
Whoa.
Spoiler.
Wait. No. That
When
didn't
Akainu
happen.
kills Ace and Garp, he goes to Sengoku. He's like, "You better hold me back, or I'm gonna fucking kill Akainu."
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff, man. And then the whole Blackbeard stuff, which is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Blackbeard
Dude,
shows
how
up
did he
and,
do it?
I guess that's a part of his power. He just absorbs other people's devil fruit powers.
What is up with that? Oh yeah, well before that, Whitebeard's speech when he talked about the One Piece is real, like that was
Oh
so
my god,
epic.
dude.
That was so
huge.
epic.
That was huge. Oh my god! Like
what
he just started like because they even say it. They say that this is a changing of times and this is the start of a new era. So
it's exactly what Gold Roger did.
Yeah, Gold Roger already did the pirate era starting where he's like, One Piece, go get it. And everyone's like, oh my god, I don't know if it's real or not, but I'm gonna go look. And then Whitebeard literally confirms it, starting another era, making more people want to be pirates because they know it's real now.
Yeah, and you get Whitebeard's backstory as well, dude. I fucking love Whitebeard.
Everyone rushes to the new world, and then that's what starts the time
that,
skip.
That exact moment is when the new era starts.
Yeah,
and
which is huge on its own.
Dude. I cried when Whitebeard died too.
Whitebeard, dude, he died standing.
Yeah, what a fucking badass.
He died standing.
Like that was
such a good character.
Oh my god! Everything with the
like
the TV transmission.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was the fucking buggy. Or sorry, keep going.
You literally only see Whitebeard like once.
Yeah.
All the way up before Marineford. You see him once, and it's when he's with Shanks, and that's like that's another thing. That's big setup for a later arc. You don't see Whitebeard again, not a single time for like 300, 400 episodes, because you see Whitebeard very early. You see him like either Arlong Park area or something like that. Like that's when Shanks goes to Whitebeard and they talk.
Well, no, what?
It was really early.
When they talk on the ship?
Yeah.
When Shanks goes to Whitebeard's
he brings him beer.
That was right after Water 7.
No, it wasn't. Was it?
Is it what?
Really?
When they clash swords?
I thought it was earlier than
when Shanks shows up on the ship and half the crew passes out. Remember?
I guess it's been
that was right after Water 7.
I guess it's been too long for me. I don't remember, but I thought it was like way earlier. It felt like so long ago. But like that's like the only time you see Whitebeard, and then how many episodes later you learn about his entire backstory, his entire crew, and then he dies.
They make you care for him so much in this one fight, and then he dies.
In one arc, you learn who he is, and then you care for him. Same thing with Brook. He just get introduced, and you're already like, yeah, you are a fucking homie. Join the crew.
That was so sick. Like his character was so well done. His death was so well done. All those fucking holes in his chest. Jesus.
Yeah.
And like if he was a little stronger, he could have just taken down Blackbeard right there.
He was already beat to shit though.
Yeah, he was already done. Yeah, Blackbeard's crew is fucking crazy now.
Yeah. Yeah, Blackbeard, even though that's the one thing. I'm not the type of guy to think, like, I've heard the opinion that, like, if you hate a character, if you hate a villain, it means they're written well. I don't entirely believe that. Like, I still like villains, like, that are written well. I don't, like, say, oh, I hate them. That means that they're good characters.
Yeah.
Like, Blackbeard is written to hate, and he's a good character. Like, I do not like him, but I also like how he's written.
Yeah, his backstory is really interesting.
Yeah, so like that's one of the few instances where I will agree that like I don't like this guy, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. He has like,
because he's
cool. He was
snake.
Like, he had this knowledge about devil fruits. He was just sitting on. He was waiting for this one fruit, and like before that, he was just a good member of the crew. He was just like
someone found
biding his time, and then he found it.
Well, someone found it. He didn't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what I mean. He found his ticket to the top, and he took it, and then he becomes a bad guy. So he was kind of
fruit.
Yeah, he killed a man for a fucking fruit.
Imagine.
He was kind of, you have to assume he was kind of that character to begin with. He was just suppressing it and waiting for his moment.
Yeah, that's definitely like what I would assume.
Yeah.
Because he just seemed like a shitty guy from the start.
And that's, Luffy escapes with Law, and then you have that moment where Hancock catches up to them, and then they go back to Amazon Lily.
Yeah.
And then
And
you
then,
have that
and then Rayleigh shows
the
up,
talk with Rayleigh. Well, Jinbei fucking
beating some sense
finally
into Luffy.
beats Luffy senseless and finally like gets him back to normal.
Yeah, that was really good too.
Pretty.
That
And
was
he
hard to
finally
watch.
he has that moment where he realizes his crew. Well, Ace is not the only important person in his life, and
Yeah, that one hit hard. That one hit hard.
oh yeah, well, before that you get Luffy's backstory.
Wow. Yeah, you kind of get like the main character's backstory.
Yeah, which is
why
like
did I
long,
forget that?
like 10 episodes long. And,
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna be
you
honest.
finally meet
I wish it
Sabo.
wasn't that long. It makes sense that it was that long because it is like Luffy.
Yeah, it's the main character.
It's the main character's
Yeah.
backstory. It's necessary, but man,
It was well done. It was a really good backstory.
It was really good. It just it felt like it dragged.
Yeah, well, the reason it dragged is because it ended at a moment where you're like, no, don't stop here.
That and then also you had to explain the main character's backstory and Ace simultaneously.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna say too much about the backstory. It's pretty self-explanatory.
It's just really good. That's all you gotta say. It's just
but like,
good.
I will say this, like, it's not completely confirmed that Sabo is dead. So
yeah.
I'll just say that.
Yeah. I don't know much about that either, so.
Yeah. Well, they had that one moment with Dragon in the backstory where he comes back to the ship and you hear these backing characters like saying, "Oh, get a medic," or "This person needs like medical attention," but they never show who needs it.
Yeah.
So I'm
that's a good
assuming
point.
that's Sabo, but I don't know.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So I think he's still alive, to be honest.
Maybe. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I just thought that one of their friends just kind of died.
Yeah.
But I did like the Sabo stuff. I did like his introduction and like his backstory with his family and how he wanted to throw away his like rich upbringing because he wanted to hang out with his cool friends.
And that's another point where you really see how fucked up the world is.
Honestly, yes, that's what I mean. Like, such a cartoony art style for such a dark ass world.
Yeah, it's real. It's fucking Jesus. All right, so that's enough on the backstory.
Well, that's enough. Yeah, now time skip time.
So yeah, back to that moment with Luffy and Jinbei, and then you get that moment with Luffy and Rayleigh, and we're like, what the fuck are they talking about? That was the moment where I looked up when the time skip was, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm like 10 episodes away. So, so we get that moment where he goes back to Marineford and the newspaper and all that, and then all right, time skip. So I need to know, which characters' looks do you like better, and which characters' looks do you not like better?
I will say this.
Worded terribly, but you know what I mean.
There's only a couple that I don't like how they look now. There's only like 2 maybe.
Same.
1 yes, 2 maybe. I think that Luffy's time skip look is amazing. I think that Frankie's is fucking outstanding. I think it is so good. Zoro looks good. Sanji looks like Sanji. He looks fine. Robin looks good. Chopper, polarizing that I would say this because a lot of people prefer Chopper's older look. I like Chopper better now.
Okay.
Usopp has, in my opinion, the best time skip look. He looks so good. He looks so badass. I love Usopp's time skip design. And it just fits his like character changes so well too. The only one that I'm not a fan of is I don't like how Nami looks. I don't like that she's just like topless with long He-Man hair. I just don't think it's that great. And she just wears like jeans. Dude,
I was talking to my manga reader friend, and he also doesn't like Nami. I'm like, am I the only one that likes the new Nami more than the old one?
It just doesn't. I don't know. It just. I mean, maybe she'll change her clothes, but right now she just wears the same shit.
Oh, I think it's just I prefer girls with long hair. So that's just me.
It's just. I haven't really. I've never been like crazy about Nami's design for the most part, anyway. But I don't know. It just doesn't. It seems like a forced change for her character design, in my opinion. It doesn't. It just seems like, well, we got to make her look different. Make her hair longer.
They're not gonna make her unattractive, so they gotta keep her hot.
No.
So they gotta change something.
But like look what they did with Robin. They made her more attractive, subjectively.
Well, they kind of just changed her hairstyle.
Well, yeah.
But Nami, they just completely changed her hair.
They just said, yeah, just make her hair longer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not crazy about it.
So for me,
And then Brooke, I love
oh
how
yeah.
Brooke looks.
Well, Brooke is just the clothes look different. Like, yeah.
But yeah, he's got the crown now. He's got the flower pants.
Hmm.
I love how Brooke looks. I think
Yeah,
it's
dude,
so much
that's
better than
the
his older
Soul
design.
King, where he goes, he actually
Soul
becomes a rock.
King,
That
yes.
is fucking
Goes on
hilarious. I love
tour.
that.
And in
He
his
becomes
last show he
famous.
planned to have in Saudi. That's so cool.
Yeah, that was great. So, all right, for me, the character looks, I would say the ones that I'm sort of indifferent about, and when I say indifferent, I mean I
They're
like,
fine.
yeah, they're fine, they're good. Would be Nami. Like I prefer long hair, but she doesn't really change that much. Um, Nami, Robin, Luffy didn't really change that much. I love the scar on Luffy's chest, but he didn't really change.
I mean, I like his
He's
I
a
like
little
his
more
like
ripped, but
I like his like rope strap looking like waistband. I think that's really cool.
yeah, that's a nice touch as well. But he didn't, this his character, like actual physical character model, didn't really.
And
change.
I like that he has long sleeves.
Yeah, true. He has that vest, but except because he got it from the Amazon Lily, it's kind of frilly.
Yeah, I honestly like
Yeah.
that a lot though.
Yeah, I
So
think
cool.
he rocks it. But yeah,
I think
so
we probably have the
those
same opinion about Sanji's, right? Like
those
it's just kind of
three.
like the same
Oh,
thing as
okay.
he was before.
Those three, Sanji, it's just he has a goatee and the hair's on the other side.
Yeah, that's
And
really it.
but the funny thing about that is you see the eyebrow, and you remember how the eyebrow was on the other side, and you have that mental picture of his whole face, and it just looks so stupid.
I never thought
'Cause-
about it honestly.
Because the eyebrow, if all right, so picture yourself as Sanji, and his left eye, which is the one showing after the time skip, has the eyebrow curl on the right side.
Yeah.
But the right eye also has the eyebrow curl on the right side. So it's kind of like, what the fuck? If you picture him with his whole face, it just
I have
looks
to
weird.
think about it. I'd have to
Yeah.
look.
But like with the hair covering, yeah, he doesn't really look that
Yeah.
much different. But that's another one I'm sort of indifferent about, but think looks good.
Zoro's is badass.
Brooke, they just changed his clothes, but he looks great. Like it's like
I think
okay.
well that's the thing. Like I liked Brooks like old timey look before, but I think he looks so
Yeah.
much better with like the really explosive like flower
Yeah.
pants and the crown and I
Yeah.
love it. I think it's
He
so
looks-
flashy.
He looks cool, but but again, didn't really change that much.
Yeah. It's just clothes.
So that's 5. All right. So now we get to the ones I feel strongly about in both directions. I'll start with the good ones. Easily my favorite, Usopp and Zoro. They look so
Yes.
fucking sick.
Yes.
Usopp and
Although
Zoro look fucking amazing.
I've and this isn't a spoiler, but like I've talked to the people who are caught up, and there is no explanation on why Zoro lost his eye. There is no explanation.
Really?
There is no explanation.
Wow. Well, maybe.
I was like, oh, I get to find out like maybe Mihawk cut his eye
Well,
out or something. Nope, nothing.
the one thing I was wondering is that does his eye actually not work, or is he just not using it?
Oh, I was gonna make a reference, but you wouldn't understand it. But he's just like concealing his power.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like maybe one day he opens the eye and finally like uses his whole
Yeah,
power.
no, he just straight up lost it, and there's not really an
Well,
explanation.
Well, maybe eventually we'll get one.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, Usopp and Zoro look so. Zoro's new green robe and the face with the scar on the eye.
The one
just looks
thing
so
about
sick.
Zoro's look that I'm both disappointed about and also happy about is two things. I'll say disappointed first because of like the green robe look. It seems like that's going to be his consistent look. And before every arc, he always had some kind of like jacket or T-shirt on that I always loved. And now it seems like he kind of can't have that anymore
Well, we'll see. We don't know.
because he has like more of a trademark look now. But the good thing is it makes the waistband look good. Before
Yeah,
the waistband looked
True.
stupid in my
Before,
opinion.
like, yeah, with the white T-shirt, it didn't look as
It
good.
looked dumb, but like
Yeah.
before he would wear like especially I remember this one specifically in Arlong Park. He had like that blue flower shirt. Like I love that he wears like weird shirts every arc. That's one thing about
Yeah.
Zoro that I always liked, but now he can't really do that because he just kind of has this green robe.
I love the green robe. I think it looks sick.
No, I like it. I do. I like
Yeah.
it. It's just that's the only thing I'm like kind of disappointed about. And yeah, I'm glad you agree with me on Usopp. Like
Yeah, Usopp.
He
I
looks
love
so
the
good.
I love the muscles. I love that moment where he meets up with Nami for the first time, and
Well,
Nami's
hold on,
like,
there-
"Oh, woo!"
yeah, we got to talk about that too because there's some really
Uh,
funny stuff about that whole
And
situation.
Nami just shoves his face into her breast.
But yeah, like the full on afro is so much cooler now.
Yeah, it's so sick with it's like a ponytail and then into a gigantic back afro.
That's
It's
so
just so
cool.
sick.
That's
I
so
love the
cool.
hat is so well done. The overalls are so much cooler than they were before. All the different weapons he has.
And he's
Okay.
beefed up too. He's ripped.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I mentioned that, but Chopper, I don't dislike, but I just prefer the old hat.
Okay, yeah, that's the hat I can understand, but I like that he actually wears like clothes now.
Oh yeah, well when he changes forms and yeah, actually when his normal form too.
Yeah,
Um,
he used to not have like a shirt or anything. Now he has like a
yeah,
full on like matching hat and shirt and pants, and it
true.
just to me it looks better.
So the only thing about Chopper is I just prefer the old hat, but
That's fair.
that.
Yeah, that's understandable. I
The
like
only
both
one I
hats.
really don't like is Frankie.
Really?
Uh, I don't like what they did with him.
Why?
I don't like the buzz cut. I know he can change his hair, but it's default buzz cut. I don't like that. He's
You don't like the
I
big
don't
buff robot?
No, it's too much for me.
Oh
It's a
man.
little too much.
Here's
I don't
something.
really.
Here's
Yeah.
my opinion is that the change in his character design, for some reason, well, not for some reason, there's reasons behind it. It made his character so much funnier, and now he's like the funniest character in the show because he has all those weird things about his body, like the little tiny hands that pop out and like
Yeah,
the weird
no, it's
changing of
funny.
hair.
It's badass. I just like it was just too much for
It
me.
just that made him like the funniest character in the
Like
show
I
the
felt like
second he showed up.
they could do all those gadgets without him looking like a complete cyborg.
I guess I don't know. I fucking love Frankie's design. I love it. I think it's such an upgrade in my opinion, but whatever.
But yeah. So to each his own. But all right, so into the actual plot of
Yeah.
the first arc after the time skip
And
here.
other than like the first part with everyone returning and then there's like the fake crew, which is hilarious.
That was so funny.
That was so funny. And
That
then
moment
Chopper
when
being
they're
convinced they
calling
were
out
real.
Nami at the bar.
Yeah, and Chopper
Yeah.
being convinced that they're real, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Luffy, you got you changed."
I was like, God damn it, Chopper.
Well, actually, no. He didn't. He thought they didn't change. He was like, "You guys look the same." And there's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fat Luffy and like Nami with a weird like belly.
Yeah. She looked
Oh my
pregnant.
god!
For Christ's
And
sake.
Robin was like some old lady, and oh
Yeah,
my
and
God, it
Frankie was an old dude with a
yeah,
Hawaiian shirt.
yeah. And here's something else that's funny. I don't know if it's the same in the dub, but in the sub, the people who voice the fake crew, they voice each other. It's not the same characters, but some of the crew members voice the other fake characters. Like
Oh,
I'm pretty sure fake Frankie had Zoro's voice actor.
okay.
And like it's just like it was really funny. It was so
I,
funny.
I didn't actually look into that, so I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, because I noticed it right away. I was like, why does Frankie like the fake old fat Frankie sound like Zoro?
I
It
didn't
was
really notice it, so that
it
might
might
not be
have
the
not been a
case,
thing.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
it is so funny. The fake crew is hilarious.
Yeah. I love the moment where Usopp shows up at the bar
Yes.
and fucking plugs the fake Nami, and then Usopp sits down and he's like, "Can I buy you a drink, beautiful?" And he puts the hat up and Nami freaks.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then, well, I mean, even before that, because you obviously know that other people showed up first, but
Yeah.
then Luffy shows up, and he just like accidentally just hockeys some people,
Yeah, he runs into the fake Luffy and
but he
just
doesn't
uses
realize it's fake Luffy,
yeah,
and he just
because he's
fucking
Luffy.
knocks him out
Yeah.
without even moving his fingers. Like
Mhm.
that's so cool,
That's so
so
sick.
cool. And then he does it to like 100+ people when they're fighting, because it's
Mhm.
all those fake wannabe like straw hats.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Too bad that the quality of that did not transfer. Because in my opinion, Fishman Island is a pretty bad arc.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
No.
Wow.
No, I thought it was really boring.
I thought it was great. You get a lot of
Oh yeah, no, it
important
does
info
it does
out
an
of it.
amazing job at world building, but like the actual content I'm not a fan of.
I thought it was really good. I thought Jinbei's backstory was great.
Yeah, for the
Um,
backstories and the world building aspects, Fishman Island is really good.
the
I'm
whole yeah,
just
the whole
really not a
interaction.
fan of the
Sorry.
immediate threats. Like I think Horty
I'll
Jones.
admit the threat could be better.
I think
but
Horty Jones is a really bad character, and the fact that like he just gets powerful by overdosing on some fucking drugs is really dumb. And like his crew of like bad guys are not interesting at all, in my opinion. And I don't know. I just like here's what I see Fishman Island as. It's just like it's just a good way to show how much stronger the crew got for the time skip. That's all I see it as.
Well, that was one of the best moments of it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what made it.
Yeah.
That's what made it like good enough was that everyone did their cool shits, but like the actual like plot, I just thought was so sleeper.
I thought it was good. I thought, well, there have definitely been better. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was one of the best arcs, but there were really some really good moments, especially, as I said, Jinbei's backstory and the moment at the end of his backstory with Nami and her forgiving him and Jinbei just breaking down. I thought that was so well done. That was great. And then you get that moment right at the end where Robin confronts King Neptune about Joy Boy, and you figure out one of the ancient weapons is
actually the girl.
Yeah, whatever the fuck her name was.
Shirahoshi.
Yeah, Shirahoshi is Poseidon, which was like, whoa, okay,
She's
that's
fucking
really
weapon.
cool.
Yeah. He does a good job at like, giving more explanation to the world and also laying some groundwork for the future. But I just have a lot of issues with its immediate content.
And then you get that moment where they all show up at the square and they start the big fight, and they don't even show, and like Zoro and Usopp and Brook are just with them. Just like, they're just that badass. I love that. Like that was one of those moments where they're a lot stronger. So they all show up, and then fucking Luffy does the Conqueror's hockey and just knocks out 50,000 of them. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, just like a real quick 50 grand.
Yeah,
Just
like
get them all
no
out.
big deal. And then Robin and Sanji and Zoro are like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I love that. I will admit Horty could have been done better. I didn't think he was terrible, but he wasn't that interesting. I'll
Like,
say that.
think about this. Luffy already like strong as hell before the time skip. Goes into this training arc with the old vice captain of Gold Roger's boat. Gets this really strong hockey control and is just way stronger with his like new hockey armament bullshit. And he somehow just can't beat this guy who could just take some Adderall and just fight harder.
Well, you have to think about two things. One, for like before, like when they were in the square, he beat the shit out of them because they were in air. But when they got up to the underwater portion, it made things a lot harder because you can't really use your devil fruit powers as effectively underwater.
Well, that's what I mean. Like they made the one handicap for Luffy is that they put him in water, and then that's the reason he was losing. Like the actual villain.
Yeah, but that
wasn't
makes
strong.
sense though.
But it doesn't make for a good villain.
Well, no, but you also have to consider that those pills were insanely powerful, and they took a toll. Like there were consequences to taking those pills, and there was justification that they were that powerful because you saw at the end they were all old men.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not a fan of that style. Like the only reason he was strong was because he was popping pills. I just think it's kind of dumb.
I mean, they're probably not going to do that for the rest of the show.
No, but I mean, like,
I
for
felt
the first arc post time skip, that
pretty
being
well.
the first villain.
Also, I think Horty definitely could have been more interesting, but I don't have a problem with the pills.
Like the only like actually interesting part for me of like the immediate story, completely forgetting about the dude with the 4 legs who can like throw shit, because that in my opinion
Vanderdecken.
in my opinion that was like worse than the Horty stuff. I did not like
Yeah,
that
no,
either.
I didn't really like him.
Was like Luffy, punching the boat. Like I thought that was cool.
That was awesome. And then Sea
like,
King showing up.
And then the Sea Kings are like, "Nah, we got it. Don't worry about it. We'll handle this."
One part I definitely didn't like was having Luffy on the brink of death. I thought that was like, come on. Like I know like the teeth hurt, but like we're supposed to be showing how much of a badass he is now, and now he's on the brink of death.
Yeah. Also another like, well, there's a couple big issues I have. Actually, never mind. One of them got resolved really quickly. I was gonna say that like that one octopus swordsman looking dude like became a threat somehow, but then I forgot
Oh,
that
the
Zoro
drunk
literally
guy.
beat him in like 2
Yeah, he
seconds.
destroyed him.
So
Yeah.
that forget that. But Sanji's nosebleed being an actual plot point was the dumbest shit ever.
Hold on, no. You got to think about it though, because for 2 years he was starved. He had nothing.
No, it makes sense, but why did they make it so important? It's so dumb.
It
They
was-
could
I
have kept
thought
it
it
as a
was
joke, but
hilarious.
like they made it seem like he was actually going to die.
Well, it didn't actually end up mattering in the end. But
No,
like,
but like they were like, "Oh my God, we got to rush you to a hospital. This is an immediate emergency." It's like, make it a joke. They made it seem serious.
I thought it was hilarious.
It was funny, but like they made it seem serious, and that's
I
why
thought it was
like,
fine. I think what they did was I think what they did was fine. It didn't really end up mattering in the end, so I don't really have a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of issues with that arc, but it does a good job of showing what everyone learned, and that's what's important.
And dropping bombs with Jinbei's
And some-
backstory.
yeah, that's what I mean, and some, like,
Pluton
background
and
exposition.
Poseidon and all that. That was really cool.
Yeah, like with, in terms of like the actual characters' improvements, like Sanji learning that sky jump thing that the Cipher Pole
Yeah,
learned,
Skywalker,
like, yeah,
Moonwalk, as they call it.
that was cool. Although the explanation on why he learned it was weird.
Like he was
they
just running so much.
He just said, "I ran so much that I could just run in the sky," and it's like, oh, okay. I liked. This is another reason why I love Time Skip Frankie. Is like the Frankie tank is so funny and cool.
No, the gadgets are amazing. I just don't. I just think the
big
look
mech
is for him
so
is
funny.
too much.
The big mech he like turns into, but like doesn't actually serve a purpose, is so funny.
Yeah, that was sick.
And then Chopper being able to control his like big demon form thing is cool as shit. Usopp had some of the best moments because it showed like that he's just like not only has he always been like smart as hell, but now he's confident enough to show why he's smart.
Yeah, he's got so many of these gadgets now. He has that little face off with one of the fishmen.
Yeah.
Where he dares him to jump at him.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally does, and he pays the price.
The only thing is that I'll say, Zoro doesn't really show anything. He just kind of like cuts things harder. Yeah, he just cuts things harder. And I'll say like Brook's like spirit thing where he can.
He had a couple
where
new
he can
moves,
when Brook can like retract his spirit or
That
whatever.
was so
That's
cool.
that's cool.
That was so cool.
The ice sword thing feels a little weird. Like it feels a little out of place.
Yeah, I'll agree there. The ice sword thing was like, whoa.
I
wait,
like it.
hold
Like it
on.
looks cool, but it just felt
Yeah, but like,
it felt
where was the
shoehorned.
justification
Yeah,
behind
it felt shoehorned.
Yeah, I'll agree there.
But I mean, if there's more showing of it, then maybe I'll like it later. And then Luffy's obviously, like his armament hockey is fucking awesome.
Armament hardening. And then that first punch against Hordy when they're underwater and Luffy's on the prince's back where he sets his armor on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, is there a little ace coming in here?
Yeah. Got some of the moves.
Yeah. I didn't think it was as bad as you thought, but I thought it was.
I wasn't crazy about it.
I
like, at
wasn't.
all.
I thought
But then again, we have the
infodumps
same.
were great.
We
I
have the
thought
same.
fights were great.
We have the same
Just the-
polarizing opinion about Skypiea as well. I don't
It's just
really
the
love
villain,
Skypiea, and you
yeah.
do.
I really like Skypiea. It's just the villain could have been done a little better. I'll agree. But I didn't think it was bad though.
It does. I had this opinion when I first finished it. I was telling my friends because two of our other friends that are like pretty caught up. They don't like that arc either, and I was trying to explain to them, well, it's good for this and this and this, and they were like, no, I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I was like, well, I agree, but it's good for what it does well, and that's background and displaying new strengths. That's what I will say. It does a good job of world building and displaying new strengths. I just, like I said, I don't like the immediate danger.
Oh, and totally forgot. Luffy asked Jinbei to join the crew.
Yep. And he didn't say no.
He says yes, but not yet.
Yeah, he says, I will at some point. So
Yeah.
pretty sure he will
So-
at some point.
Yeah. Hopefully, that's not too far off. So that's fit. I actually I watched the first couple episodes of the next arc, and then I stopped.
What episode? You said like 4 or 580, right?
Yeah.
What episode does Fishman Island end? I thought Fishman Island ended on like 560 something.
It ends at like 572 or 73 or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
And then there's 4 or 5 episodes of a little interlude. I'm pretty sure it's not filler, but I could be wrong.
You talking about like where they're in the water, and there's like they're still underwater with the coating and all that.
No, it's after they get out of the water.
Oh yeah, that I literally stopped the second they came back up, and then there was the smoker scene, like time skip smoker.
Okay.
That's where I stopped, like that
okay.
episode.
Yeah. The time skip smoker. Looks
Dude,
sick.
he
Yeah.
already had my actual favorite character design in the series up to that point. Like I love how he looks. I thought he looked so fucking
He looks like
cool.
the
He had
fucking
one of my
Terminator
favorites.
now.
Now he looks
Yeah.
even cooler, and Tashigi looks cool, although she didn't really change. She just wears
she
the
didn't really
jacket
change.
now.
She's just more skilled.
I'm excited. Like Smoker and Tashigi are like some of the background characters that I always want to see more of. I want to see like
Yeah.
what involvement they have because they're technically good characters. Like they're good people. Because Smoker, like I mean, this is calling back to like way back to Logtown with Smoker's like reason for what he does, but he's always been considered like a good guy because he looked up to Roger, but at the same time he always wants to catch Luffy, but it's kind of like a Kobe situation where he wants to catch him, but he also wants to see him do what
True.
Roger does.
True.
So I always want to see Smoker and Tashigi, so I can't wait for them to do more shit.
Yeah. So after Fishman Island, there's like a 4 or 5 episode interlude that I'm like 90% sure isn't filler, but I could be wrong.
I could tell you after this, like I could look at the episodes and I'll tell you.
And then I watched the first 2 episodes of the next big arc.
Punk Hazard.
Yes, that's it, and it's setting up really well. But
I haven't seen anything on it yet.
I stopped.
Like
I
I haven't
stopped
seen a
right
single
after
thing. The only thing
like
I
2
know
episodes
is
in.
Blackbeard being involved somehow.
Oh, okay. That
That's
didn't.
not. No, that's not a. They show that. They show him on that like lava island,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. They show him when he takes down Bonnie.
Yeah.
But that was pre time skip where they. Show
Yeah,
him.
but oh wait, yeah, good point. Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought that was never mind. Okay, then Blackbeard might not be involved. Never mind. I
Yeah.
thought that had to do with the next arc.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think. At least I could be totally wrong, but I don't think he's involved because that scene was
that was me
pre-time skip.
spitting false information. I thought that was the same thing. Never mind.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's the same island.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes of that, and it's looking pretty interesting. So
Okay. That's another thing we didn't talk about.
whenever I get back to it.
Although we're literally 3 hours into this, the build up for Big Mom.
Yeah. Oh
That
my God, when he
introduction.
gets on the phone with Big Mom.
Yo, like one of the the admirals and the warlords were already like big dogs. He
Yeah.
already confronted Navy headquarters, and then he just calls up one of the fucking what are they called?
Emperors.
The four emperors. He just calls them up. He's just like, hey, no. He just like that's what he
Yeah.
says. He's like, no, this is my place now.
Yeah, he's like, I like this island.
Yeah,
I'm
just
gonna make it my
dances around.
territory.
Like, think about that. That's the same level as Shanks.
Yeah.
And he's just standing up to him. And apparently Blackbeard's considered one now too.
Yeah, he's an emperor. He replaced Whitebeard.
So it's like,
Yeah, so the only one we haven't seen now is Kaido. We had that little pseudo picture of him, but we don't really know what he looks like.
yeah.
Yeah, but Big Mom looks fucking crazy.
Yeah, she looks insane.
Holy shit. And then he gives away the treasure, and Nami's all pissed off. Of course she
As
is.
usual. That's literally always what he does. He did that in Water
Yeah.
7. He just lost
He
the
does it all
treasure.
the time. Oh, yeah, and that moment where the fishmen give Nami that new log pose with the 3
'Cause they need it
dials.
for the new world.
Yeah, and then Luffy wraps his head around Nami, and he's like, ooh. Like, typical.
Well,
But yeah, that's about it from where we are. But
Jesus, that was a lot of talking.
yeah, so the dub is not finished with Punk Hazard, so it's gonna be a while before I start watching
I'm
that
free to
again.
pick up whenever. Like I
You are.
can start up Punk Hazard whenever I want. I've
know,
taken a break at the moment.
Funny thing is, it's like the show has gotten me so much that I've actually started watching all the way back again in sub.
Oh, really? You started
Yeah, I'm like
Japanese.
10 episodes in.
Wow.
In sub version. I don't know. Like that's not gonna be something I binge. It's gonna be something I periodically go back to. But Because
to
I
get
don't
used to the
know.
voices in case you
Yeah,
ever...
because I don't know how long they're gonna take to make this fucking dub.
Yeah, some dubs take a while to
Yeah.
like when it's that many episodes behind, you wonder how slow it's going to
Yeah,
take.
if it gets to the point where like a year or 2 years from now,
There's
like
nothing.
they've only made 50 more episodes, and like, all right, I guess we're doing sub then. Because I can't, like, I can wait. I can't wait that long though.
Pretty sure the One Piece dub is it's not as slow as you think, but I think it's periodic
I know-
scattering. It's not like
I know
episode
back
by
in
episode.
October they released like 12 or 15 episodes, and then in December they released another 12 episodes. So it's
Oh wait, no, yeah, I think the dub for the arc after Punk Hazard is actually going to start soon.
yeah, I think they're just about done with Punk Hazard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
I think
seems
I
like
saw a trailer
every
about that.
3 months or so they release new dub episodes, but that's still, considering they have another 300 episodes to dub. It's not very fast.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
But I mean, the same shit happened with like Naruto and Bleach. Like when I was watching Naruto, I caught up to the dub so fast, and then there was still like 50 episodes I had to like experience in sub because it was like 3 months for like 10 episodes, and I was not
Yeah.
waiting that long. And so I
Exactly.
just like hopped on it, and I was like, shit, fine, I'll watch the sub. And back then I didn't watch sub, so I didn't even like it, but
Yeah.
I still watched it because I needed more. So
Well, before I started this One Piece binge, I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch 200 episodes and then I'm gonna stop again.
yeah, because
Well, that was right where Saba Odi ended. I'm like, well, I can't stop now.
yeah, I had the same thing with Thriller Bark. I was like, I'm just gonna watch Thriller Bark and take a break, and then the
Yeah.
ending stuff with Kuma happened. And I'm like, maybe I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah,
And at that
so
point,
now
it's
I'm
just a
like
downward
right up
spiral.
against it, and there's only 60 dub episodes approximately left. So, yeah, I'm just gonna have to wait. So that's how it is.
That's how it is.
Maybe I'll pick up Naruto or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's a conversation for later. But
Oh,
I like how
whoa,
that
whoa.
sounds.
All right,
Okay, well maybe we should probably call it there because it's been like 2.5 hours.
it has been 2 hours and 55 minutes.
Oh my god. Yeah, we should definitely split this into two.
Yeah, I
think,
can do that.
Yeah, the One Piece episode should be its own thing. But
Yeah, we've been going on One Piece for 2 hours alone. So
yeah, I mean I'm not surprised because
yeah.
we literally just told the entire story from that point that we started.
From Water 7.
But yeah. If
Yeah,
anyone,
I'll title this section like One Piece spoiler cast Water 7 to Fishman Island or something like that.
or just episode numbers, I guess. But
Yeah, episode numbers is less
hopefully,
spoilery.
anyone listening, if they actually enjoyed us completely rambling this in depth about the story, thanks, I guess. But this is just us getting this is like we've said before. This is like the first time we're talking about this stuff. So for the most part,
And it's like for us especially, it's so hard to look up anything about One Piece because it's just spoilers galore.
Yeah.
So we're like the only ones, and I obviously have another friend that reads the manga. Those are the only people that we can talk about this week. Yeah. So we got it out of our system.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Anything else you want to say?
Watch One Piece. If you didn't
Just do
already
it.
expect us to say that after talking this much about it, I'm gonna say it now. Watch One Piece because it's really fucking great.
And it does, and I know it might seem daunting. 900 plus episodes.
It's good after 390.
They just released the 1000th manga chapter.
They did.
But it's worth it. It's amazing.
The only reason it's this long is because it's paced a lot slower. But that doesn't mean that it's not good at like along the way.
Exactly. All right, so about 3 hours in, we'll obviously split this up, but thank you guys for watching this, and hope you have a good day. Leave a comment if you have anything to say. Like the video, subscribe if you're
But don't
interested
spoil shit. Don't be stupid.
in more of this type of content. Do not spoil shit. That is not cool. That is no chill. So that's about it. Thank you guys for watching again, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
See you in a
Have good
month.
one. Just about. Peace.